it is. But at this point in time, man, it's like, man, you got to 52 points is insane to give up, right?
Hmm.
I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're on the road, whatever. Teams are teams, of course, but man, 52 points, man, you got to be better than that on defense.
So, what do you think the main problem was with this defense? Is it the injuries? Is it the new scheme? Is it Dennis Allen? Maybe the game has passed him by. What's going on with this Bears defense? They don't look anything at all as to what was advertised to us during preseason with the practice against Miami. Everybody was talking about and so forth. What do you think is behind all this?
Yeah, you look at it, and they walked into a buzzsaw. Number one, they were playing in Detroit. It was Detroit's home opener. That stadium is loud. It's crazy. Um, I don't want to make excuses, but a lot of the game changed with that. The situation at the end of the first half and things like that. So that helped perpetuate. Push the envelope on that.
Hmm.
But I think a lot of it has to do with some of the injuries, of course. Guys not being able to be on the field at the same time and learn each other in the new system.
Yep.
Those are all issues, of course. So it's not something that's unfixable. I think you have talented players once they get healthy. Um, barring Jalen Johnson, of course. I mean, that's sad to see him go down possibly for a lengthy period of time, if not the entire season.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just a matter of not having the continuity and the time together to
Mhm.
prepare under this new system. So I don't think Dylan Challen is to blame. I think his system will end up working. I don't think the game has passed him by at all in that regard, though.
Hugh Evans is asking about Shamar Turner. Is he hurt? What else could it be? He's a defensive tackle, which is a position that needs help. I think the expectation, Hugh, is that Turner is going to play Sunday against the Cowboys. He basically was healthy at the start of the season, but they wanted to give him some time to ramp up. So I'm certain that he'll be activated, particularly with Grady Jarrett not being 100%. I expect Turner to make his debut. What do you know about Turner, Danik? And if he does play Sunday, what excites you, if anything, about him?
Now, I think basically what it is that these are young guys, right? So that we'll get to another point later on that has something to do with that as well. But Turner's a young guy. You got some guys, veteran in front of him that are
Hmm.
that are really good players still. And at the early part of the season, it's important for guys like that to kind of sit back, learn a little bit from Grady Jarrett and those guys up front. Now, if they go down with injury, of course, they'll get thrust into game time action and things like that. But we're at a point in time where there's no need to rush because you have veterans up in front of them that are still decent players.
Yeah. My hope is that Gervon Dexter is going to turn on that switch and he's going to take that next step to being a star in this league, because he certainly has all of the tools necessary, the size,
Mhm.
the speed, the want to. It's just something missing that's stopping him from taking that next level from a tier 2 defensive tackle to a tier 1.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about point number 2, which is penalties are going to be the death of this season. Yeah, it's hard to argue with that, brother.
Man, I said it last week too. We kind of touched on it last week with Ben Johnson being who he is and attention to detail and so tied into get it right, do it right, handle your business and things like that. It's like, okay, why are we having these problems? Why are we having pre-snap penalties? Why are we having? I mean, it's just holding calls, penalties, false starts. You know, you can't win when you're 3rd and 24. You
Mm.
can't win when you're 3rd and 19 all the time. You know what I mean? Things like that. Those are unwinnable downs in the NFL. A team is not going to just let you get 20 yards to get a first down.
Yep.
It doesn't happen very often. So, those are the things that are plaguing us right now. And like I said, it will be the death of the season. This you won't be able to come back from that, especially on the road, bad environment, a rival. You can't go out there and have tons of penalties, man. You just can't do it. You got to be a disciplined football team. And he's supposed to be a disciplined coach, like a guy who's really anal about that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, man, what's going on, man? We trying to, let's get it in. Let's kick it into motion here.
Danny Shinman on Buffon 55 last night here on this network said that he thinks it's a coaching issue. When you have that many penalties, it's probably the coaches somehow are not getting through to the players. And what was interesting too is, let me see if I have this. At today's press conference, Ben Johnson said some things that basically he was not happy with the way the team is preparing for games. Listen to this real quick 10-second soundbite.
I think our practice habits are yet to reflect a championship caliber team.
I mean, there was silence in that room after he said that, and it was a really transparent admission. So if they're not practicing well, perhaps that has something to do with their lack of discipline at the line, and why we're getting these penalties.
Yeah, I mean, it does have a lot to do with it, I believe. When you're there and guys are not paying attention, or they don't know the snap count, things like that, it's frustrating, number one. Number two is, I've heard several times that Ben Johnson's system and some of the things that he does with the offense is difficult to grasp. It's harder to pick up. So if that's the case, I feel like there should have been way more guys putting forth effort in the preseason games to get ready for this, if that's the case. If you know your system is like that, and I'm not trying to knock Ben Johnson because it's just 2 games in, right? But, these are things that you just can't have, man. I mean, we talked about it on Three Kings of the Midway where, you got wide receivers running in motion that are getting false starts. You know what I mean? DJ Moore got one, somebody else got one. Those are things that are, that's attention to detail. Those are things that should never happen. I can see maybe a lineman, you know what I mean? Maybe he jumps the snap count. Maybe somebody baits him to flinch. But your skill position players should not be having that. And like we said, if you don't know the snap count yet, look at the ball, man. Look at the ball and go on the ball,
Yep, indeed. You mentioned your podcast, Three Kings of the Midway. Did you release a new episode last night?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it dropped last night, and we talked about some of that stuff too. You know what I mean? A little bit of that.
Excellent. And people can find that wherever they get their audio podcasts?
Oh, yeah. Wherever you can get your audio podcast. We're actually working on a situation where we can try to get it put on to, we do have a YouTube channel and things like that. So we're going to start doing live ones as well. But anywhere you get your podcast, Amazon, Spotify, whatever, it's there. Apple Podcasts, everywhere.
Yeah, I made this for you.
That's Mr. Danikin, never known for panicking. He's one of the 3 kings. Wisdom is what he brings.
That's it. I like it.
That's it. We got a couple of comments. Slick says, I don't see any aggression from the defensive line to offensive line. Yeah, the trenches are an issue right now. What is your level of hope that they're going to get better play out of the guys that play in the trenches?
Man, you want trenches guys to be physical. You want them to be strong. You want them to be locked in, push people around, be physical, be nasty. And I don't see that from the Bears, right? You want some dogs up there. You want some mean guys up there, right? And until they start showing that, we're going to be in trouble, man. We're going to have some issues. So that's big time. He's right. My man is right there.
Yep. All right, let's go on to your third point here, which is the chemistry between Caleb and Rome is there, but where is DJ Moore? Where is he? Danikin, what's going on there?
Nobody knows, man. I mean, nobody knows, and that's my thing. Like I have a thought about it that he just doesn't get along very well with Caleb. I don't know if they vibe that well.
Yeah.
And that's just what I see. You know what I mean? That's just what I see from outsider's view. I don't have any knowledge of it or anything like that, but to me, it just doesn't seem like they vibe or that well. Now, Rome and Caleb, of course, they came in the same draft class. He's going to feed him the ball. He wants his guy to do well. They were friends before. They wanted to play together, and this is what they're going to have. And they're like, hey, let's take over. Let's do this at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's their relationship. So DJ kind of falls into the background, and I don't know, man. Like as a guy who's been there and done it before, he might feel slighted in a way. Like, hey, Rome is good, but man, I'll put up 1,000-yard receiving yards with inferior quarterbacks. You know what I mean? So, it's like that's the drawback there. Is there a little bit of animosity? Is there a little bit of, I don't want to say jealousy, just not really vibing on that level,
Yeah, I get the feeling that DJ is angry that playing with Caleb is robbing him of pass catches and yards and touchdowns. Is hurting his statistics. I almost get that feeling. I mean, he had his best year as a pro with Justin Fields, and then Caleb comes in, and Caleb, rookie, is telling him how he wants the routes run and stuff. And during those press conferences early last season, it sounded like DJ was like, this guy comes in here, starts telling me how to run my routes. So that could be a problem. It could be a problem going into the future. And this team has a lot of weapons, so it's easy to get lost. But DJ Moore is an established star. He needs targets. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. Definitely.
All right, let's go to number 4. I found this one really interesting, Danica. Tell us why fans want more touches for Loveland, Burden, and Monange, but not you. Why is that?
Not me. No. I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, fans want to see these guys produce because they were drafted high. Coast, Loveland, top 10 pick. Burden in the second round. Monange, he wasn't picked high. He was in the 7th round, but you want to see him get picked. You want to see him get some touches and things like that. I think he averaged over 4 yards per carry the other day. So everybody's like, oh, give the rookies some play and blah, blah, blah. Everybody's never been really on board with Swift. Not the way I think they should. I think there's a lack of respect for what Swift brings to the table in some ways. But, everybody is always clamoring for the next possible player or star or whatever the case may be. So they want those guys to get touches. I don't think they should necessarily get them yet because I believe that the players in front of them are still good enough and they're veterans. And when you have a team that has false starts, penalties, all these other things, we don't need learning on the job from our young players. Let them learn behind some of the veteran leadership. Maybe by 4, 5, 6 games down the road, you'll start to see them getting more play, more action, and things like that. I want to see him. I think Burden is a dog too, Joe. And I think he's gonna be a very good player for the Bears, for many years. But you still got DJ Moore, you still got Rome, you still got Zacchaeus. Those are guys are well capable as well. And something that stuck out to me in what Ben Johnson said a couple of days ago is, people want I know people want to see our younger players playing some ball and things like that. But the way he looks at it is, if I don't like what I see when you don't have the ball, you're not getting the ball. You're not getting the opportunity to get the ball. You see what I'm saying? So, and I feel that that's right. I feel that that's correct because in order for the team to be successful, everybody has to put forth max effort on every single play, not just when you're about to get the ball. If you're a decoy, run the route like you're getting the ball. If you're not involved in the play at all, still do your job, pull your weight. You know what I mean? So if you're not doing that, whether it be on the practice field or in game, when he turns on tape and he sees that, then yeah, you're not going to get your opportunities, man. Your opportunities come due to the level of effort that you put forth all the way around.
Yeah. I'm going to quote Danny Shimon again. He said that, and actually I thought about this too, because Caleb reminds me a lot of Justin Fields. And Justin had the tendency of locking in on one receiver, Darnell Mooney, and then DJ Moore. And so do you think that perhaps Caleb is doing the same thing with Rome? It's not so much that he doesn't want to get the ball to the tight ends or the other receivers out in the field. It's just that he's locked in with his guy. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think he is locked in with his guy, but you can't be locked in with your guy when you have so many weapons on the football field. I'm
Mhm.
a proponent of this. Like the way I look at things is I need to attack all areas of the football field. Before long, if you're locked in on one guy, unless he's Randy Moss or unless he's Jerry Rice, you know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying Rome is terrible or anything like that because he's definitely got the skills, right? But he's not on that level yet, right? Maybe he
Mhm.
gets there one day. We don't know, but he's not on that level. So unless you're one of those guys that's going to get open no matter what, and Rome gets open fairly often. I'm not saying that he doesn't, but defenses and defensive coordinators are smart. They will start adjusting, and when they see you fixated or locked on one guy, they will do everything they can to take that one guy away because it will make you uncomfortable if you're not passing that ball around to other people,
Yep.
right? So that's the way I look at it. And then the second part, like I said, you got to attack every area of the football field. I want the flats attacked. I want the seams attacked. I want the outside corner. I want the slants. I want out routes. I want everything attacked. There's a route tree. You know what I mean? I want you attacking every part of the football field because that's when defenses get confused. When a defensive player has to think instead of just reacting, that slows you down. Now the offensive player has the advantage. But if I know where you're going, I'm gonna beat you to the spot every time.
Yeah. Interesting. What do you think about DeAndre Swift? And I like it when the ball is in his hands on pass attempts, because I'd like to see him get 15 to 20 touches a game, and 5 of those should come via the pass. What are you satisfied with the role that DeAndre Swift has with the team? Are you disappointed with the production? What are your thoughts on Swift?
Yeah, I'm not satisfied with it yet. I think it will expand as we go into the season. I think it'll get larger. Um, Caleb is doing this, right? His checkdowns, I think they've simplified the game to the point where it's like, okay, if you don't get read 1, read 2, he's probably not even going to read 3. It's just immediate check down. And he's checking down to the backs way more than he did last year, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see that, and I think that's what they're teaching him. Hey, you don't get to 1, 2, get rid of it to the check down because they're trying to, I believe, trying to curb that hero ball mentality that he has sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not knocking Caleb, people. I'm not knocking him, but I'm just telling the truth. What I see, what I feel like I see. And to me, they're saying, hey, check it down. He's checking it down. But DeAndre Swift is really excellent out the backfield. And if he can look for DeAndre Swift more often, get him open in space, DeAndre Swift can take the ball 70 yards to the house. He's got 4.4 speed. You know what I mean? So all you got to do is get the ball to them guys. You don't have to make the magnificent play every single time. Get the ball in their hands, man, and let them go to work sometimes.
J2K says, run Menange and Roshan early in the game to pound the defense, bring Swift in when they are tired. We might see Menange and Roshan get a lot of snaps because I understand that Swift was withheld in practice today because he's got a mild sprain. He's likely to play, but he wasn't a participant in the first practice in preparation for the Cowboys.
Okay.
All right, let's get to point number 5, and that is Caleb needs to get the ball to these tight ends. Yeah, I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
And Ben Johnson took some of the blame for that. On the first game, he said they weren't really a part of the big game plan because we wanted them to block a lot. But yeah, I expected more in game 2 and didn't see it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't see it as much as I want to see it. I think you have 2 tight ends, Cole Kmet, 6'7", 6'6", whatever he is. You got Colston Loveland, 6'5", can run, got wiggle, agility. You know what I mean? He can get away from people, things like that. You have matchup nightmares. There's not a nickel in the league that wants to go and tackle Cole Kmet. I'm just being honest. Like at the end of the day, even if you get him to the ground, he's going to punish you a little bit. It's hard bringing a big boy down. You know what I mean? Colston Loveland, that's a matchup nightmare if you got a linebacker on him. So you got to find ways to get these guys in matchup nightmares. And I think Ben Johnson will do a good job of that. But my concern here is, does Caleb look for those guys? Because, you could say, hey, your progression is for this guy or whatever. But when he drops back, his comfort zone is what? I'm going to Rome. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And you go back. And this is the reason it's concerning to me, is because this is not just this year. Last year, he didn't utilize his tight ends. And then you go back to USC days, he never utilized tight ends in USC. You go back to Oklahoma, when he was at Oklahoma, he didn't utilize tight ends in Oklahoma. So I'm thinking to myself, this guy is just comfortable throwing to one or two wide receivers, and that's it. So I want to see him be able to progress to the point where he can look and say, okay, I got a matchup here. I got a matchup over here. Cole Kmet's going up against a 5'9" nickelback. Let me throw the ball over there to him. See what can happen. Colston's got a linebacker on him, big linebacker on him. He's going to run away from him pretty easily. Let's go this way. You know what I mean? And I think he needs to start looking for those guys more so than just Rome, being fixated on Rome. And I love Rome. I'm not lying. I love them. I love the connection that they have. Cutler and Brandon Marshall had a connection like that. But let's be honest, Cutler threw the ball way too much to Brandon Marshall sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I agree with people who say it's good to have a number one target, during those critical times of the game, who you want to target and so forth. But you're right, the ball, in today's NFL has to be distributed, and the tight end is always been known, not always, but for a long time has been known as the quarterback's best friend. So would love to see him take more advantage of that.
He all he has to do is look at look at Lamar Jackson. He utilizes his tight ends, whether it be Derek Lively or back in the day when he was doing Mark Andrews. Look at Michael Vick. Michael Vick was a running quarterback. Algie Crumpler was his safety blanket, bro. You know what I mean? And it goes down throughout history. I mean, you got guys, Patrick Mahomes. He would not be Patrick Mahomes without Travis Kelce. That's just a fact,
Let's address some of the questions and topics that people in the chat are talking about. Ryan Poles, what's your evaluation of the general manager who's now in his fourth year? His contract has been extended. He's getting a lot of heat from all sides. Your personal opinion on the general manager?
Oh, man, I mean, I look at Ryan Poles and I'm thinking about it. Yeah, he's made some mistakes. He's taken some swings and he's missed. But you got to look at it. You got to look at it through the whole scope of things, right? And the way I look at it is, I look at Ryan Poles and I say, okay, he's getting the ingredients, and it's clear to see what he did, right? A couple years ago, he was loading up on these defensive players. He was drafting defensive players. Why? Because Eberflus was a defensive coach. That's what he wanted. So you're getting the coach that you have, the ingredients that he can work with. Now we transition to Ben Johnson. He's now getting, Colston Loveland, Luther Burden. These are guys, Monungai. These are guys, that he can utilize, that he wanted. And that's the direction that they're going, right? So I understand what he's doing. A lot of people are saying, well, he doesn't have a first round, or he doesn't have a draft pick that made the Pro Bowl yet. Well, the Bears have been a bad team in a rebuilding phase. They're not going to have a lot of Pro Bowlers. Let's just be honest about that. When you have a rebuilding team, when he took over and he tore the roster down, got rid of Quinn, got rid of Roquan, let Justin Fields, traded him away. When you have that type of situation, you're not going to have a team that has a lot of Pro Bowlers, period. Here's the other thing. I look at Colston Loveland. I look at who was drafted this year, right? I believe he'll make a Pro Bowl. He's good enough. I believe Darnell Wright will make a Pro Bowl. I believe Caleb and I believe Rome will make Pro Bowls. Those are 4 first-round picks, in my opinion, that at some point in time will make the Pro Bowl for the Bears. So, yeah, you don't see instant success, but everything is not instant in the NFL. We're not making instant grits. We're not making cream of wheat in the microwave. You know what I'm saying? You got to turn the pot on, put the pot on the stove, boil the water, and let these guys develop. before we act like, it's the end all be all. Sure, he's made some decisions that are questionable, but at the end of the day, as a general manager, nobody's hitting perfect. Nobody's swatting everything out of the park, and it just doesn't happen like that.
Yeah, with Paul's, clearly the worst decision he made, or maybe it was made for him, was the hiring of Matt Eberflus to be his first head coach. And there's a lot of, Greg Gabriel, who used to work for the Chicago Bears, strongly believes that decision was made by Bill Polian, and that Poles didn't. If Poles wasn't in agreement with the choice, he didn't fight hard enough, and that to me is a bad sign right from the get-go. If indeed Matt Eberflus was foisted on him, he should have said, wait a minute, you guys hired me to be the GM. Contractually, that's my decision. I appreciate all the input. I appreciate the pre-interviews. I'll take a look at them, but I'm going to make my decision on who this head coach is. Now, if he did that and he still hired Matt Eberflus and he didn't fire him after his second year, that's a catastrophic X against Ryan Paul's performance review, so to speak. The fact that he didn't fire him after 2 years of him seeing my players being properly developed, because I truly believe in these picks, and Eberflus agreed with me on, but these guys aren't being developed. Now, in some cases there was injuries and so forth, and so that's slowed development down. But I still get back to that, and I suppose you agree with me that the Eberflus decision was terrible, no matter what the genesis of it was.
I think, yeah, absolutely. I think the Eberflus decision was terrible. I think this is what the Bears were doing, right? And I spoke about this before, where I believe it was a turning. It was a difference, right, in what the Bears as an organization did when they went after and they got the top dog in the coaching tree, you might say, or coaching carousel, you might say.
Yep.
And that's when they did with Ben Johnson. I think they always take the third tier guy, or whatever the case may be. Normally is what they were doing. Nagy was not the top dog, in my opinion. John Fox, he was beyond his time. He was kind of washed up, in my opinion. The game was past him. Eberflus, where did he come from? Just all of a sudden, Eberflus rose up the board, and that's who we drafted, or not drafted, but that's who we signed. So I don't know if he was coerced into that decision or not. I think he was a little bit, because they did give him, hey, these are the three guys that we think is right, and you pick one of them. And he was like, oh, it just happens that this guy is on my list as well. That just seemed kind of odd to me. I didn't necessarily believe that, but it was his first GM job, and he might have been coerced into that a little bit, in my opinion. The biggest mistake, though, to me, is not moving on at the same time, right?
Right. Yes.
If you move on from Justin Fields, I believe move on from the coach and hire the coach with the quarterback that you're going to go into, right? Don't have this situation where you're flip-flopping guys. Now, what I think they're trying to do is when they signed Ben Johnson now, and then they re-signed Poles to an extension of his contract, which a lot of people were upset with. But what they were doing is tying those guys together. You're tied together. Caleb's with you. We're going to see this thing through, is what I believe that the Bears are doing right now as an organization. And I'm on board with that. Because I don't want to see a GM be fired. To me, it would be stupid. It would be ridiculous for them to fire the GM now. And now you have another GM that's going to come in. Is he going to like Ben Johnson? Is he going to get along with him? Is he going to like Caleb Williams? Because let's be real. A GM is taking that job because he wants to build a team that he can be proud of, that he can say, I built that. I don't want leftovers from another regime. Caleb Williams wouldn't have any loyalty to that GM when contract negotiation comes up, because why? You didn't draft me. Poles drafted me. He'll have a little bit more loyalty to him. So all those things are tied into this. And Bears fans, I believe, sometimes don't understand that part of it. And it's like, hey, I want to see these guys. You look at teams like the Buffalo Bills, perennial. They're always there. The Baltimore Ravens, you know what I mean, Pat Mahomes and them in Kansas City. These are guys that have been in a system with the same coach, the same GM for 6, 7, 8, 9 years. They know the system. They become proficient at it. They become very good at it. You cannot have Caleb Williams going through GMs, through coaches. He's already gone through how many coordinators? 1, 2, 3, 4 offensive coordinators in 2 years.
Yeah,
4 coordinators in 2 years, 4 different systems, probably 4 different terminologies, 2 different head coaches. You know what I mean? I don't want to put that on the kid. I want to see him grow. And hey, let's make this work. Y'all are tied together. Work it out. Figure it out. Because if y'all can't get it right, in 2 years, you'll all be gone.
There is word. I mean, one of the things the Bears could do if they were unhappy with Ryan Poles, which apparently they're not because they just extended him. But if things go poorly this year, and if Ben Johnson is saying, you know what, some of these guys that Poles acquired just aren't pulling their weight. We didn't agree totally, and so forth. Why not let Ben Johnson make his decision as to who he wants as the general manager? That's not an unusual thing to happen in the NFL where the coach does that. There was speculation or some reporting that he desired Lance Newmark, who is the Commander's assistant general manager and is used to work with Ben Johnson with Detroit. Would you be against, if Poles legitimately should be released, which a lot of people in the chat are saying, would you be against Ben Johnson kind of taking the reins and saying, basically, I'm going to be the general manager because I'm bringing in my boss?
I mean, I don't know because do you become, the Bears as an organization, do they allow that? Do they want that? I think when Jim Harbaugh was saying, he was kind of campaigning that he wanted to be with the Bears and coach Chicago, right, at one point in time. And I believe that the relationship and how he wears on people, because Jim Harbaugh wanted a little bit of, say-so in general managing situations, I think they were balked at that. So do they do an about face and say, okay, Ben, we believe that you understand this and you know this role and you'll get contracts done and all of that type of stuff? I don't know, man. I just don't see that happening. Another thing that I will say too is that didn't Ben Johnson say Poles was one of the reasons that he wanted to come to Chicago?
Yes.
So, I don't know if he's going to do an about face. And then you have a situation where if that does happen, there's a lot of people that Poles drafted. There's a lot of players that Poles drafted. If you do an about face and this guy turns on the general manager, what does it say to the team? What does it say to the locker room? Does it create divisions in there? Because there's going to be a lot of guys coming up for contracts, you know what I mean, and things like that. So now you might have a situation where guys are playing for themselves, not for the team.
All right. Well, the way you're looking at it, and I think it's very credible, is that the marriage between Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles is going to keep them together for the next 2, 3, 4 years at the very least. All right. I see Steven Zimmerman is backstage, ready to come in. The rest of the show will include Zim, of course, and Johnny Santucci with his Bears State of Affairs. And we always play a video to segue this first 30 minutes. And I redid the open to kind of capture the mood of Chicago Bears fans. So take a look at this.
The following is rated TV MALSV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Here we go again. Another dark season. Was all excited for no good reason.
Now we're back in the cellar again, watching football shouldn't create pain. High draft picks, lots of money to spend, but it's the same thing again. Fellow Bears fans, here we go again. Packer fans laughing again, Lions killing us at their den, Vikings messing with my brain. It's the same old song. Here we go again. Bears are down again. I'm watching them throw away my faith in a season. It's the same old reason. I'm sad, hurt, and I don't even pray. The hope and the hype gets us every time. Packer fans laughing again, Lions killing us at their den, Vikings messing with my brain. It's the same old song. Here we go again. Bears are down again. Bears are down again. It's the same old song. Bears are down again. We can't catch a break. Bears are down again. This isn't our year again. Bears are down again. Here we go again.
Just like, are we really going through another season like this again? Is it really that bad already? It's very demoralizing.
Bears fans, I'm concerned as a former player with all the investment they've had, the high picks they've had. Things are not coming to fruition.
What we watched yesterday was so embarrassingly bad on every level.
And that shit don't fly as a head coach. You're
took
not
it-
going to last
yeah.
long as a head
Right,
coach
right.
if you don't understand how to step up to the requirements of that job.
Packer fans laughing again, Lions killing us at their den, Vikings messing with my brain. It's the same old song. Here we go again. Bears are down again.
Welcome everyone to Bear Their Souls. With me is Steven Zimmerman. Daniken is taking a break, and Johnny Santucci should join us any moment. Zim, how are you, brother?
Not bad. Not as bad as I think a lot of people might expect me to be this week. So
Was that your wife?
no, I just, I gotta, a lot of people know I'm a Bears fan around, and it's not the end of the world. It's week 2.
But they gave up 52 points, Zim. That's not ordinary.
Yeah. I thought about that.
Really?
For people who don't know, I used to live in Denver, and there's a team out there who very famously gave up a lot of points a few years ago in a thumping that they took against the Miami Dolphins when the Denver Broncos lost to the Miami Dolphins 70-20 in week 3, 2023. And since that point, Dolphins have kind of been ass. And the Broncos have kind of been putting it together. And it just goes to show that progress is not necessarily linear. You know, you're gonna have setbacks before you have successes. It really sucks.
When did the successes come in?
I mean, for the Broncos, it was last year. I mean, it was one season after they took that beating. They made the playoffs. They put it all together. They started really performing. Granted, you know, they brought in a new quarterback, but aside from that, most of the roster stayed pretty similar. You know, it was the same system. It was the same defense. Everything was the same. They just found the guy to throw the ball. Whereas, you know, in this situation, they found the guy to throw the ball already. They need to find the guy to run the ball now here in Chicago. So, you know, I look at this 2023 Broncos team, and you know, they put up some banger performances on defense after giving up that 70 burger. You know, which is to say, just because you have one stinker doesn't mean that your season is over. You know, looking at this 2023 Broncos team, they gave up 20 or fewer points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times for the rest of the season after giving up 70 in week 3. 70 points in week 3. That is a lot of points early in the season to then go on and throw 7 games of 3 or fewer touchdowns.
Like, his name is Steven Zimmerman.
He's got a hard rockin' soul. He's the long-haired guy on Bare Their Souls.
Hey, that's your new theme song.
What are you gonna do when I shave my head, man?
Well, I'll put some more tokens in the AI machine. Exactly. So then again, Sim is looking at this and saying it's early. One of the things that really struck me with what he just said is that we have the quarterback, we just need a running back. But leading into that, I said we just gave up 52 points, Sim. How come you're not more upset? So you wanna grapple with Sim, or should I?
I mean, I guess we both can a little bit. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I understand what Zim's saying. It's an early part of the season, and there's a lot of things that need to happen, right? But you don't have that much time in the NFL, man. You know what I mean? Like
no.
Yeah, it's you know what I mean? It's not an 82 game season, it's a 17 game season. And by game 10, by week 10, by week 8, 9, you know exactly who you are, and you know if you're going to the playoffs or not in most cases. So they don't have maybe 4 or 5 more weeks. Yeah.
I think we know in week 2 if this team is going to the playoffs or not. I don't think we really need to, you know, beat around the bush on that one. But you're absolutely right. You don't have a lot of time in the NFL. And I think about, I don't know, I can think about 10 guys on this roster who are about to find that out a lot sooner than they think they are. I mean, I genuinely think this roster won't even look the same by the end of the season, let alone by the beginning of next season. I think there are certain guys on this team that won't be here anymore. It's not the guys that everybody on Twitter want to talk about. And I really think that Ben Johnson is fed up with some of these high name, high price tag players underperforming. And it's not number 2. I don't know why everybody seems to think it's DJ Moore. DJ Moore played his ass off on Sunday.
Yeah. I think with when it comes to the Bears, there are going to be a lot of guys that get booted out of here or we are relieved of duties, and it's gonna be a purge, you might say, of Eberflus guys. That's what I believe. You got to get the stench of losing, and you got to get that off of you. You got to get that type of mentality away from the team, and I think that's what's going to happen in the very near future. Maybe by trade deadline, you may see some guys traded at that point in time.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the Bears just get rid of guys and start stocking up on draft picks. Not that does them any good anymore, but because apparently we're going to leave draft picks, inactive on game days and on the NIL list all season long. And, we're going to draft 5 guys and, one of them might play.
Let's not ignore the fact that the very handsome guy at upper right-hand corner of your 408 screen is Johnny Santucci, who's got his own little theme.
His name is John Santucci. He's never worn Gucci, but he knows a thing or two about pussy.
Never worn Gucci, but he knows a thing or two about pussy.
Finally, I got my own song. Yeah.
What are you talking about? You got your bear there, Soulz song. By the way, I got a new one for when you're done with Bear There Soulz, or excuse me, the Bear State of Affairs.
All right.
I got a new one. I think you'll like.
I noticed that you can hit Command D and it'll unmute your mic.
That's right.
Yeah. So all those times where Aldo and I are talking and we're muted. No more dollar in the mute jar.
Most people appreciate it when my microphone is muted. That is the truth. Such, what you want to set up your Bear State of Affairs? We'll get right into it.
Let's just do it.
All right.
Rip the Band-Aid off, Danica.
Exactly. If you are new,
Danica and I are repping the Cubs today.
Hey, I went to have lunch at a bar, and all of a sudden, everybody in that bar was celebrating, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on here?" It was the Cubs clinched a wild card berth. So, congratulations to the Cubs.
Let's go.
Zimmerman spoiling the moment. The wet blanket to Bear Their Souls.
All right, let me see if I can find this thing because there it is.
It's time for
that's the one.
It's time for John's Bears State of Affairs. He got nothing but truth bombs about the Bears. He tells it like it is and always has, with no agenda, just a little pizza. Sit back, light it up, and crack open a beer. It's time for John's Bears State of Affairs. State of Affairs. It's time for John's Bears State of Affairs. State of Affairs. It's time for John's Bears State of Affairs. State of Affairs. It's time for John's Bears State of Affairs.
Johnny Santucci. There should be applause when you come on the screen, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, Bears 2025 season, week 3. What's happening, Barflies?
What's happening?
Well, fellas, time to check in with the Bears.
There you go.
Yeah. Woo! Week 2 is over. It's in the books. Yeah, the Bears played their second game of the 2025 season on Sunday in Detroit against the Lions. And as you know, it was a homecoming of sorts for Bears head coach Ben Johnson. His first game against the team who made him into the NFL's hottest head coaching candidate this past offseason. I got to tell you, Aldo, it didn't go all that well.
Jeez, that poor Bear.
John, these fucking Bears have made me sick. Stick it to them with your dick.
Yeah, where we were all thinking the Lions were going to take a big step back after losing their 2 coordinators. Yeah, it looked like it was the Bears who took a big step back, falling in battle to the Lions 52-21.
Make it stop, he's already dead.
Yeah, it was the beatdown of epic proportions, Janigan. Man, Zim, if I didn't know that Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson were friends, I would have thought they were mortal enemies. Yeah! I mean, damn, this really looked like it was personal, Aldo.
A bit.
all day.
Yeah. It was like Dan Campbell was a mafia boss punishing a small-time crook for encroaching on his territory.
That is so true. Very well. Very
God,
well
who needs enemies when you got friends like that, huh?
done. Shit.
Yeah. I love Brock, although he's so helpful.
Oh, yes, it is
He
so
did
cool.
a good job on that one.
Yeah, well, although I count 6 fingers on his right hand. 1, 2,
Shit,
3,
of
4.
course. Of course. Yeah. Yeah, well, Ben Johnson's former boss hung 52 points on the Bears head coach, giving him a beating you won't soon forget. Yeah, in fact, this beatdown caused me to again invent a new Bears descriptive term for the team's head coaching lexicon. Yeah, Tressman-esque. Yeah, this game was Tressman-esque, Daniken, yeah, where last week's fourth quarter collapse to the Vikings was Eberflusian. Yeah, the 50 burger that the Bears gave up on Sunday was Tressman-esque. Yeah.
Oh, John, you cracked us up again. That punchline hit like a rolling pin.
Ooh, that was a good one, huh? All right. Yeah, and after having to swallow that Tressman 50 burger and starting this season out 0-2, I can't blame the Bears fans if they're already looking to next season.
There you go. 3 certainties, indeed.
Yeah, 3 certainties of life. Yeah. Well, after all, it's nothing new. The Bears are 30 games under 500 in the NFC North since 2011. And that 0-2 is also 0-2 in the division. Yeah, in fact, since Ryan Poles took over as Bears GM and said we're going to take the North and never give it back, and the Bears are 3-17 in the NFC North.
Ay, Dios mío.
Yeah, that's right, Heidi. It's been more lose the North and never win it again, to be honest. Yeah, I know it's early in the season, certainly. But after 2 games, the Bears are allowing almost 40 points a game. That's 32nd in the league. Opposing offenses are converting on third down versus the Bears at a 31.8% rate. That's the 3rd highest in the league. And not to worry, though. Next week's opponents, the Cowboys, are allowing opposing defenses to convert on third down at a rate of 51.9%, although.
Jesus.
So you're saying there's a chance. Yeah. Right on, yeah. And speaking of that Cowboys defense, yeah, next Sunday's game is the Matt Eberflus revenge game, Zim. Yeah. Yeah, I guess, whatever, bro. Yeah, Sunday will be a homecoming of sorts for the former Bears head coach, who was fired mid-season last year. And his Cowboys defense is arguably just as bad as our Bears defense. Yeah, but the Cowboys offense, they're scoring 30 points a game under new head coach Brian Schottenheimer and a revitalized Dak Prescott.
Nice.
So the Bears' 5th highest paid defense better come ready to play. Yeah, against the Lions last Sunday, the Bears defense gave up a total of 511 yards of offense and had 0 sacks.
That's it.
That's it. Yep. Yeah. With the that's so appropriate. With the Lions rushing for 177 yards, I would say the Bears should focus on stopping the run, but Lions quarterback Jared Goff, with 0 pressure from the Bears defense, threw for 334 yards and 5 touchdowns and was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week against the Bears.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't much defense, although. In fact, the Bears were so bad on defense, I started wondering if this Bears defense peaked during the joint practice with the Dolphins.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, for sure. The Bears missed Kyler Gordon, with Amon-Ra St. Brown posting 115 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yeah, now Jalen Johnson, arguably the team's best player on defense, he might be lost for the season with a groin injury that may require surgery.
Jeez.
Yeah, the next 2 games are against the Cowboys and the Raiders, and they are must-win games.
Yep.
If the Bears want to salvage the season, they must-win games. Yeah, I could say that these are 2 teams the Bears should beat, but honestly, I'm really not sure. All I know is that at 2-2, the Bears would at least have a chance of turning their season around. The Bears have started the season 0-3 8 times during the Super Bowl era and have never rebounded to make the playoffs. In fact, Only twice have the Bears walked into October below 500 and rallied to reach the postseason. In 1979, when I was 11, and most recently in 2005. Ben Johnson's Bears team has shown a surprising lack of discipline. Against the Vikings, the Bears were penalized 12 times for 127 yards. Against the Lions, they were a little better. The team was penalized only 8 times for 50 yards. But they turned the ball over twice and allowed the Lions to average 8.8 yards per offensive play. Yeah.
Thank you. I never thought about it that way.
At his weekly press conference, Johnson said, "I think our practice habits have yet to reflect a championship caliber team." Let me break this down for you, Aldo.
Please do.
It looks like we won't have any more, quote, "we had a good week of practice," quotes that we've seen from all of the other Bears coaches.
That's good. Well done.
Yeah, but it wasn't all bad news against the Lions last weekend. There were a few bright spots, including a breakout game for Bears wide receiver Rome Odunze. Last year's number 9 overall pick broke out for 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Caleb Williams, usually the source of all attention and blame, he played pretty good. He stayed within the structure of the offense and made several big-time throws. In fact, if this was his rookie season, we were looking at his second game overall, you'd say, hey, we really have something here. It was only after the game was out of reach where he started to break down. Yeah, overall with this team, I saw a lot of sloppy technique, guys getting flat out beat, linemen too high in their stance. Look, the NFC North might be the toughest division in the NFL, but this Bears roster looks like it may be unable to compete in the division, let alone in the entire NFL. I'll say it louder for the GM in the back. The Bears have a talent evaluation problem. They have a lack of impact players, and unless the players we have step up, and Bears fans know this will be a long and tough season. Ryan Poles rebuilt this team. It's his roster. He wanted full control of the roster. But he's 15-38 as the Bears GM, and this rebuilt roster looks worse than the roster that Ryan Pace left behind. The bottom line, the Bears have lost 12 of their last 13 games and haven't won a playoff game since 2010. They look headed toward another top 5 draft pick, and Bears fans have very little faith in Ryan Poles making that pick.
John, these fucking Bears have made me sick. Stick it to them with your dick.
Yeah, Bears need to right this ship quickly. Well, the only things that will matter the rest of the season will be finding out whether Ben is the coach who can save this franchise and whether Caleb is the franchise quarterback this franchise so desperately needs, and that is Bears State of Affairs.
Oh, John, you're too much, too much, too much. Oh, John, hen.
John, you're on a roll. You on a roll, on a roll. Do you think of this stuff when you're on the toilet bowl? When you're on a roll, it gets me thinking and singing. You just know how to let us who is sinning.
You done it again.
Very nice.
Well,
like that one.
Wanted to find that balancing point between being too negative and being funny. So
No, you were definitely funny, and I think you hit all the right chords. Daniken was talking about Ryan Poles in our first 30 minutes of the show.
Yep.
Daniken, do you disagree with anything that Tooch said there about Ryan Poles? The reason I ask is because I'd love to see a good fight right now.
You don't get a fight from the Bears on the football field, so we might as well start doing it on Barroom, right?
There you go.
Bar fight, yeah. I sit back and I look at what Tooch said, and I understand where you're coming from, right? The win-loss situation is what it is. It's a rebuilding though. So I throw a lot of that away. They tore down the entire roster, and I disagree with you that the roster looks worse now than it did then. We got way better players on offense. I mean, Justin Fields was throwing the ball to Byron Pringle, Demir Bird.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? We got wide receivers now.
What was that team's record?
Yeah, it was better because Justin Fields was running the ball like crazy.
No, I'm just saying, maybe we'll wait to the end of this season, see how that roster did versus this roster. But that probably is only semi-relevant. But yeah, I mean, look, we're in the 4th year of a rebuild. Actually, this might be a second rebuild, and Bears fans have a right to be upset or frustrated. Think
about this though, what about his draft? Right, in his first year, Poles came in.
Yep.
He had no first-round draft picks, none, 0.
Yep.
So you know what I mean. You gotta look at some of that stuff, and it's like, man, when we're talking about the rebuilding of the offensive line had to be rebuilt completely. We just got 3 new interior offensive linemen.
Yeah.
The defensive line, you had, Khalil Mack, who was aging. Of course, he's still a superstar, but he was aging. And you had Robert Quinn, who, let's be honest, only plays well in contract seasons, which Pace gave him an absurd $85 million over 5 years. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I can't get away from the fact that this might be actual second rebuild and that we may have to give Ryan Poles 7 years to right the ship. I'm just saying this is a very tough division. Compared to the other 3 teams in the division, if you had to say which rosters are, if you rank them in order in the NFC North of which rosters are the most talented at 1 and the least talented at 4, the majority of people are going to put the Bears roster talent level at 4.
Yeah, because they started off 0-2. If this team started off 1-1, or even, if they beat Minnesota in that first game, which they very well could have, we're looking at a different situation. If they don't get blown completely out by Detroit, right? If you fought in the first half, they were in the game. If that game played out like the entire first half did, we're not sitting here saying this. We're saying this because they dropped 52 on our domes.
Outscored 31-7 in the second half.
That's the problem.
Or 31-7 after we were 21-14, I think, something like that. But the thing is, I mean, obviously there's some PTSD from these two. We experienced a collapse in the 4th quarter, which was not unlike last year's team collapsing in the 4th quarter, and then just a beatdown where the Lions made it personal and dropped a 50 burger on us. So I mean, it's understandable that Bears fans are either panicky or frustrated because we'll have to see what this team does. And, like I said, we have 2 winnable games, I think, versus the Cowboys and Raiders, and they're must-win games because at 2-2, you at least have a chance to salvage the season.
Let me make a quick point here, Tucci. I know that Zim is dying to get in here and get off of his TV playing Pong or whatever the fuck he's doing.
Pokemon.
Pokemon. I think you made a really good point, Tucci, about the rosters in the NFC North, and I don't think that if we would have won those first 2 games. I mean, we didn't win those first 2 games. And so the reason is because our roster is not as good as other rosters. Coaches, Eberflus didn't develop anybody. And so now Ben Johnson is trying to catch up. But part of it also is having to do with Holmes, the GM at Detroit, has done a magnificent job of building in the trenches. If anything, the defensive line could use a little bit more help, but he has put resources into it. That offensive line is top 5, maybe even the top offensive line in football. And so you need to do that. The Green Bay Packers have added to their trenches. They traded away 2 first-round picks in a steal of a trade to bring in Parsons and provide pass rush, and he's already paying dividends. after not practicing at all during the preseason. And the Vikings, with their trench work and what they have done now, they've had some injuries with Darisaw and so forth, but all three of those NFC North teams, Tooch, to your point, have done a better job of constructing from the inside out and pose by drafting Brisker and Gordon, two excellent players that I like a lot, but he started on a bad foot there. Danica, I saw you wanted to make a point.
Yeah, I was going to say that Brad Holmes, while he gets a lot of credit for some of the stuff that happened, the Detroit Lions offensive line was good for a long time. I think before Brad Holmes got there a little bit, right? There were some guys that were drafted that they, they were solid football players, that were Pro Bowl players along the offensive line. So he gets a little bit more credit than I think he deserves for that. Now they got 3 new interior offensive linemen as well, and we'll see how that works out for them this year going forward. In the first game, they didn't play well, and you can see some of that show up. In the second game, they played, of course, they played better against Chicago, of course, but it is what it is. Also, another thing that I ask people to remember is that when Dan Campbell took over and he got in there, and I see people in the chat saying, "Hey, 4 years is too long for a rebuild." Let's not get it twisted. When you walk in and your quarterback and the coach is from a different regime, trust and believe, you deal with that for 1 year and those guys are gone the very next year. That's when the rebuild starts. The rebuild doesn't start in the year that you don't have any first-round draft picks. You cannot hold him to that, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. And then with the Lions, at the very beginning, when Dan Campbell took over, they started off, 0-7, 0-6 that year? Mm-hmm. They were terrible, bro. So it takes time. The Bears, unfortunately, have been so bad that the fans are fed up and they don't have time. They don't. There's no patience,
I mean, we're also kind of not hitting on the draft picks. I don't know how Zimmerman could probably tell us how many draft picks Poles has made. I think it's like 34 over 4 years. Maybe that sounds high, but
he's had no success at all in the third round. None whatsoever.
Yes, absolutely zero. I mean, you could count like Darnell Wright, Braxton Jones.
Well, he's had almost no success outside of the first round as of right now. Yeah. He has made 34 draft picks.
34. Is that what I said? 34.
Yeah,
right?
It is. He's made 4 first round picks, right? Which are Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, Darnell Wright, and now Colston Loveland, right?
Can you argue any of those, though? You can't argue them, right?
No, he's hitting in the first round, which
okay.
you absolutely have to do. You have to hit in the first. And Darnell Wright, for all of his faults, let me see here. He is the second best run blocker in the NFL this season. Period, point blank. Not the second best tackle, not the second best right tackle, the second best run blocker in the entire league. He has given up 1 pressure this year. It did result in a sack, so it looks a little worse. But again, 1 pressure through 2 games and the second best run defender in the league. Look, that's a hit. No matter which way you want to score it, that's a hit. Caleb Williams, I think, we can get into this a little bit too. He appears to be a hit. Despite all of his faults in week 1, he made up for a lot of them last week, and I think we continue to see growth out of him in week 3. Yep. Rome Odunze leading the league in touchdowns through 2 weeks. Safe to say that's pretty much a hit. And this year, Colston Loveland, 2 games. Too early in his NFL career to tell.
Yep. Seems
like a hit through training camp, but that's training camp. God only knows. Now, it's when you start to extrapolate this, right? When you start to look in the second round, second round, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, Jervon Dexter, and then the 3 picks this year, these guys are all contributors. Tyreek Stevenson was also a second round pick, excuse me. These guys are all contributors. They're all starters. Only one of them appears to be a potential blue chip, and he's always hurt.
Let me go back to Darnell Wright, because actually in the first 30 minutes, Danikin said that he's a future All-Pro. I don't know, or Pro Bowler. I don't know if that's really going to be the case. His 5th-year option is coming up. Are you guys in agreement? Because the 5th-year option is going to be $19.8 million. Are you guys?
It'll be higher than that by then.
well, but the 5th-year option is next year, so it's projected to be around $20 million.
Yeah.
So are you guys saying that he's worth $20 million a year, Darnell Wright, right now? I don't think so. I don't see it. I mean, he's a good run blocker, which is what you want out of your right tackle, but he makes a lot of mistakes. He's made penalties this season. His pass blocking is average at best.
I don't better at guard.
Actually, and it's funny, for the third time, I'm going to quote that fucker, Denny Shimon. He said he thinks Darnell Wright's future in this league is at guard. And he said that before he was drafted, when he was doing his draft evaluations, that he's just better suited at that guard position. And maybe then Ozzie moves to the right tackle position.
Well, I was going to say, that's exactly what you can do. Yeah, and here, frankly, if Jonah Jackson keeps performing the way he has, you might do that before the end of this season. As I was talking about with this roster shakeup that I think is going to happen here soon, I don't think it's unreasonable at all that by the end of the season, your starting five legitimately are Theo Benedette, Joe Thuney, Drew Dahlman, not Braxton Jones, Darnell Wright, and Ozzie Trapillo, going from left to right across that line. I think that's a completely real thing that we could see at some point this season. I think that genuinely might get you your best five out there. And the only reason I take away from Braxton Jones right now is he is clearly still not healthy. He is clearly still not trusting his his left ankle. He does not plant. He does not really drive off of it right now. He got bulldozed multiple times on Sunday. And if you go watch the tape, it's because he doesn't trust it. He does not trust that leg.
I agree with you. Braxton Jones, to me,
I feel bad for him. I really do.
Feel bad for him too, because it's not even 12 months since he had that really gruesome ankle injury, and so there's no way that he is near 100%. No. And despite that, God, now the fourth time I'm agreeing with Danny Shimon. That motherfucker better not be watching this.
I got to quote my co-host Aaron Kern.
Real quick, he said that Braxton Jones should be one of the players of the games just because he's out there. It's sort of like what Sim just said. He's out there giving it his all despite the fact that he's not 100%. I'm sorry, Tooch, go ahead.
I got to quote my co-host on Barfly Tailgate, Aaron Current, who has repeatedly said that the Bears' left tackle of the future is playing on Saturdays this season. If we head to a season where we're, say, 5-12, that's probably going to get you a top 5 pick this season. So it's a pretty good draft for left tackles this year coming up.
Yeah.
So it's possible that Aaron Current is right.
And just to address this,
that all he makes is softcore porn.
I had to get that one in before Fitz and his mom come on.
I'm not trying to say that Benedette is any kind of left tackle of the future. I'm simply trying to say that, like, I genuinely believe that if you're putting your best 5 out there, I don't think I fully agree with Tooch that your left tackle is not on this roster right now. Yep. You know, I think they had their opportunity in this year's draft to potentially get him, but the draft didn't break in such a way that they were able to do that. You know, Josh Simmons was not worth the pick at 10, and there was nobody there at 39. So you take a weapon in Luther Burden and you kind of roll the dice on Ozzie Trapillo. Yep. And let's be real, Ozzie Trapillo might end up being a bona fide swing tackle for this team. He might end up being the starting right tackle for this team. It sounds like he's a stud at right tackle from what everybody's saying in camp. And from what I was hearing, Kyle Long did an interview with the Hogan Johns podcast. The guy's a natural born tackle, you know? So you can only do so much with this guy. You know, you could have traded back J2K. I don't want to hear you could have traded back. You had to have somebody to trade with. And if the value's not there, you don't make the trade and you pick Colson Loveland. Mm-hmm. For all we know, that's what happened.
It's possible Ben Johnson was in his ear the whole draft. I want Loveland. I want Luther Burden.
But again, as far as according to all reports, the phones were ringing off the hook until pick 10. And Colson Loveland came off the board and all of a sudden phones went dead. So...
Yeah, I like the player.
Sounds like there was probably some offers on the table that just weren't worth the value that Poles would have had to give up. Because for all of our complaints and grievances and bitching, point blank, bitching about Ryan Poles, he negotiates pretty well. He negotiates good contracts and he negotiates good trades. Those are the two things I think we can actually like give him full credit for, because Ryan Pace couldn't do either of those things. Let's be completely real.
Zim,
So
Ryan Pace traded a lot of picks
you're
away.
okay?
A lot of
Zim,
picks.
are you sure you're okay?
You remember the Claypool trade. Anyway, Danica, I know you've been dying to get a point in there.
Well, I'm just gonna draw a comparison, right? Because we brought up Brad Holmes because obviously we just played the Detroit Lions, and you know everybody's like, oh, Brad Holmes has put together this team. Let me remind people, he had Matthew Stafford to trade away and get a ton of picks back for, right? So you look at his draft in 2021, he had a first round, a second round, 2 third rounds, and 2 fourth rounds. Think about that. In the first 4 rounds, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks. The very next year, he had 2 first, a second, 2 thirds, and a fourth, right? The next year after that, 2023, he had 2 first, 2 seconds, 2 thirds. He's building his roster because he has a ton of picks because he was able to trade away a great quarterback, a highly coveted quarterback, and the Rams were willing to give up the farm for him, and they did it. So that's why he was able to do that. Without that, the Lions are not who they are. You know what I'm saying? And we're talking about hitting in the third round and things like that.
They took on a
in the third
quarterback.
round. You're hitting in the third round. Think about it. Hendon Hooker. Where's he at? He's gone.
Right.
He's out of there. Broderick Martin. What's he doing? Is he setting the world on fire? So they have some hit and miss opportunities
Every
as
team
well.
does, right?
Let's
Every
also
team
not
does.
forget
So that's
that-
all I'm saying is you gotta look at it from the full scope, and you gotta understand that he had this, but he had a lot of cards to deal with.
Jared
Foles
Goff
didn't have
was
that.
Jared Goff was a salary dump too. He lucked out in finding a guy in Ben Johnson that could develop him into a potential Pro Bowl quarterback, in a potential All-Pro quarterback, into an NFC Player of the Week quarterback. Like Jared Goff was determined officially to be not the guy by Sean McVay, the guy who determines who the guy is.
Yeah.
You know. So there's that. Look, I'm sorry. Shots are coming left and right from the chat room, and I need to address a few things. Look, Poles defender, absolutely not. I am simply pointing out.
I don't think they're talking about you.
I am simply pointing out.
It
doesn't matter.
They're talking about Danica. Yeah.
It doesn't matter though. You have to take the good with the bad in all situations. You then have to determine if the good outweighs the bad. To some people it does, to some people it doesn't, and to each their own. Okay.
That's the point. It's the same thing with Caleb. With Caleb Williams, you get this guy who's running around making throws and now he can make crazy throws. He's got a whip of an arm, so on and so forth.
Great
But you're gonna live. We're going to live with the good, and you're going to live with some terrible plays as well. And we've seen him where he sacks himself, where he runs into sacks, runs out of bounds, throws the ball out of bounds, errant throws. You're going to live with the good and the bad.
Every quarterback throws interceptions.
Last talking about negotiating good with Sweat and Edmonds. All right. He did negotiate good with Sweat and Edmonds. I want you to hear me out here. He can trade both of those players and create upwards of $30 million in cap space for next season by getting rid of those two. All right. All it takes is the right team to give you a 7th round draft pick for either one of them. It's not ideal, but look, all I'm saying is it creates cap space where you can go out and you can get a player to replace either of them.
Zim,
yes, you have to identify and find that player.
Okay?
Look, all I'm trying to point out here, yes, you have to replace these guys. You have to find valuable replacements for anybody that you're willing to get rid of. But Poles has built this roster in such a way that he can draft guys to bring in and develop while simultaneously getting rid of guys, getting rid of contracts. Look, they have 2 years until they have to pay Caleb Williams. And guess what? They can afford to pay him every penny and have a completely blank checkbook afterwards if so needed. Right?
Let me ask you guys a question real quick. How much time, given the circumstances that Poles had, and I understand he completely gutted the roster, he created salary cap. So I understand that the rebuild should take longer because of the approach that he took. So how long should we give him?
Like I said, if we're not giving him 7 years, why not? We're not real Bears fans. We're not giving him 7 years.
It's only a game. Why do you have to be mad?
I'm always mad.
You're absolutely right, though. Like, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line?
If I could push back for 1 second, like Brad Holmes had a lot of draft picks. our GM has traded away a lot of draft picks. You know, there's a Chase Claypool trade, the Keenan Allen 4th rounder, Ryan Bates. I mean, I don't have all of them off the top of my head, but I mean, the Chase Claypool draft pick, the 2nd round, that was like actually a 1st round. It was number 32 overall. You know, like mistakes like trading our draft capital away is why he hasn't drafted him. He's traded away too much draft capital. I mean, I don't. I'm not going to go too much into Ryan Poles. I just don't think he's finished building the roster. Although I don't know. That's what your point is, basically.
I don't see a team that the roster is anywhere near complete. I think Ben Johnson now needs to bring in his own guys. Go ahead, Danica.
Possible.
But that's the thing. Ryan Poles, the recipe, what you want your GM to do is to get guys that your particular coach can cook with, right? He's saddled with, and we talked about this at the beginning, he may have or may not have been saddled with Matt Eberflus. So he's giving attention to detail to Matt Eberflus type of players, the players that he wanted. Now you see a completely different situation. You got Ben Johnson in. The guys that he drafted are guys that Ben Johnson wanted. The guys that he brought in, Drew Dahlman, the guys that he brought in and Tooney,
Jonah Jackson.
Those are guys. Jonah Jackson. Ben Johnson knows Jonah Jackson well. Yeah. So he's bringing in guys that Ben Johnson wanted, right? So if we're going to sit here and we're going to bash him, then you got to understand who else is in that room asking for these guys. Ben Johnson.
Can I just hit on this?
You got to give him some credit too. You got to, or not credit, but you got to give him a little bit of blame as well.
Absolutely. I mean, look, Tyreek Stevenson, you know, he got lit up. Let's just be honest about it.
It was pitiful.
I mean, look, without a pass rush, Dennis Allen didn't play. Tyreek Stevenson's better man corner than zone. Dennis Allen had to go to all zone last week because we were getting shredded. We had no pass rush. I mean, every cornerback's going to look terrible without a pass rush. I looked up somewhere. I can't remember who said it, but Montez Sweat was only double teamed once in this game, or I don't know whether it was this game or the Vikings game. But we're paying him. If he's singled, he's got to get home and get the sacks for what we're paying him. Was it $98 million? I don't know how much it is, but
I think that's another strike against Poles, is that he treated the acquisition of Montez Sweat as if Montez was a tier 1 defensive end, and he's not. He
was perceived to be when that trade was made.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
He absolutely was. And you go on to any network, including our own, and people were saying they would rather have Montez Sweat than Chase Young.
Yes, I still say that. But that doesn't make him a tier 1 defensive end.
But Chase Young was perceived to be a tier 1 defensive end.
Well,
you say that you wanted Montez Sweat over him.
I don't agree with that, Zim. I think everyone, not everyone, but the majority of people looked at Montez Sweat as an all-round defensive end, a guy that can set the edge and play really well against the run, but also a guy who could get you 9 or 10 sacks, not Chad Hutchinson type numbers sacks, not Bosa type sacks. He's never been that player. He's just a good he's a compliment to the Chase Young, who was supposed to get the 15, 20 sacks, but never did. I don't know. Montez Sweat is a good player. I'm not saying, it's a bad trade or anything, but the money being dedicated to him is for a tier 1 defensive end, and he's not delivering those kind of numbers. You could blame it on the defensive tackles for not getting the pass rush. By the way, we got somebody in the background here who wants to come in and mediate these discussions that we're having. Before I bring him in, I got a little video. Let's see if I can find it first, because I got so many goddamn things here. It is this one.
He's about to make me hungry. Gonna microwave popcorn, trust me. When he talks about food, my appetite is renewed. This is Fritz with his restaurant critique.
Oh my God. That was awesome.
And there he is, Mr. Fitz. How are you, brother?
How you guys doing?
Good. I
Good.
saw you backstage listening to the discussion. You want to add anything to the topic these guys were talking about?
That was pretty intense.
I like it
Wow.
like that.
Add to it. You guys were getting me going about polls because I'm starting to like. I was giving them the benefit of the doubt for 4 years now. Let polls cook memes, all of that stuff, and I'm just looking back now. I'm just like, there was Stacey King. Yeah, that's the guy.
Careful what you say.
Stacey King, Bulls broadcaster, mentioned, and I don't know why I'm going to a basketball mind, but Stacey King's popular. He's a Chicago guy. Does well. Does a good job at what he does.
Yeah,
really like him. He mentioned that he'd go back and he would have kept Justin Fields and built around him with all those draft picks. And that's where I was 2 years ago in a lot of this. But 2 years later, hindsight's 2020. Would we really trust Poles to get the right guys around him at this point? I don't know. I'm not as certain as that as I once was, and that's kind of where I'm at with the whole thing. Is you've got a lot of money towards guys who aren't producing right now. We've had a lot of draft capital, a lot of draft picks. Am I too jumping the gun to ask like where's the production from these guys? There's no, I'm not. I'm be just fine.
I resemble that remark.
I'm under 200. Okay. But
I'm researching on my second screen. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, they could have been like 250.
But are we at a time now where we can just start saying he's not getting the right players? I mean, I know there's injuries involved. They gave the money to Jalen, and he's out for the year, and you've got the money to Sweat. Is that really coming through now? I mean, we had a good first half season with the Bears, but we're 2 years into it now, and it's like he would have had one sack this year had it not been for a penalty. But outside of that, we really haven't heard his name called. So that's where I kind of am with the Bears right now. I'm looking at the team that's been built right now. It's like we're 4 years in and we're still talking about depth, and it's with all of the picks we've had.
Yeah,
so that's
imagine
where I'm
being
at.
a Buccaneers fan.
That's
I'm just saying, their GM's been there since 2014, and 4 years into his tenure, they're looking at Jameis Winston. Oh, sorry. Jameis Winston. Yeah. Peyton Barber, Ronald Jones, Mike Evans, Carlton Davis. Like, they got pieces there, but where's the depth? Where's anybody behind them? And then
And yet they'll probably win
Tom
that
Brady
division.
comes along.
They were patient. They saw the vision. Tom Brady comes along. They win a championship. They realize some things. Now all of a sudden they're turning Baker Mayfield into the face of the division. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, some of these guys, you give them some time, and you see what they have and what they work with, and by not just having such a short chain and seeing what you can build on rather than what you can. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say here? I had this and I lost it. Okay, yeah.
Are you sure you're okay?
I'm mostly there, guys. I'm mostly there.
I just feel like I'm to be honest. Like, I'm not a Poles apologist. I understand where he's made mistakes. Chase Claypool, major mistake, right? I was one person because we were so decimated at wide receiver when they got Chase Claypool. I was like, hey, swing for the fences. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. And the only reason I say that is because of that. And then you look at Chase Claypool and it's like, okay, he's 24 years old when he comes over. Out of Notre Dame, he was really good. You look at his measurables at the combine, they were comparable to only one other player in the history of the game, and that's Calvin Johnson, right? So I'm thinking to myself, okay, he's got skills. He's got the physique, the body, the speed, all of that stuff to be a good player. And a lot of times coaches will say, hey, bring him in, or a GM will say, bring him in. Let's see what we can get out of him. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Now, a lot of people are just bent on that and they're upset about that thing. I don't care though, man. You're gonna miss on some, right? I'd rather have somebody who's willing to take that shot than somebody who's not. Now, one thing that I will say about Poles, and I think this is bogus, I think the talent that he put around Justin Fields was bad.
Yeah.
And I believe that he made a lot of moves faking like he was actually trying to win or trying to do something when you were the whole time you were rebuilding, and you use that kid's career as a rebuilding moment, in my opinion.
You're
Give
absolutely
him
right.
anything
That's what happened.
to succeed. And that's what he did. So I think that's terrible on his part that he did that, right? But at the same time, I understand the money aspect and the franchise and the organization that we're, fans of, and this is how they operate. The Bears don't have, I've said this before, they don't have major money, right? Their money is made off of football. They're not made in oil. They don't have money in different avenues, right? Their main source of income is the football team. So while other teams are willing to take chances that the Bears are not so willing to take, they have the cachet to do so. The Bears don't have it.
I disagree with that, Daniken. First of all, there's a salary cap. And so every team has to pay the roster the same amount within like 97% of the money has to go to the cap. So it's not like they could spend millions more on the roster. They've spent $100 million on the facility over there. They've given big contracts to Khalil Mack and other players. The narrative that the Bears don't have the money, I'm not buying that. They've got plenty of money. The franchise is valued at over $8 billion. So yes,
but do they have liquid assets though? Do they have the liquid money like to pay an extremely high bonus, right? Do you have that type of money? Do they have that on deck? Because a lot of times you have to have certain amount of money on deck to sign this guy because he's garnering this much in a bonus, right? We can give you $85 million, but we're not going to give you a high bonus because we don't have the liquid assets to do so. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally.
That's
understand.
all I'm saying. I'm not saying they don't. They're not
They'll
broke.
have to be worth a hell of a lot more once they get the stadium
they're not
complex
broke,
built.
but-
They could make money off that too if they're smart. Other teams might have.
Now you gotta ride.
Tooch, do you know what that means? You wanted a bike, now you got to ride it? Because it's an Italian saying.
I don't know that one, no.
No, okay.
I love it, though. But the other teams might have liquid assets to spend on scouting, technology, resources, training, nutrition, weights, facilities, things like that. And that the Bears might not be as competitive in that arena. But I still think as an NFL franchise, we don't need to excuse them for anything. They've tried to spend money.
Who was it that said that the Bears training facility was one of the best they've seen?
Yeah.
I heard that recently.
It is nice. Yeah, it's beautiful. They spent on it.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been said by a lot of people, players and broadcasters.
Okay.
And
Of the two that I've been to, it's definitely top two.
Makes sense.
You're talking about your high school in Iowa?
No. I've been to Dove Valley. I've been to Dove Valley where the Broncos play, and I've been to Hallis Hall where the Bears play. And personally, I think Hallis Hall is a lot better from a fan's perspective than Dove Valley. Dove Valley only has 3 fields. Hallis Hall has 5. The building is much larger. It feels like everything they need is on campus right there. Like it's a very impressive facility that they built.
Fitz, you agree with Flex when he says they don't spend correctly? They get suckered by everyone because they are chumps. That's pretty strong language.
Jeez, there's some evidence for that. I mean, traded up for Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I was about to say like something I was thinking about through this whole discussion. Like, it's really easy to see like where Ryan Poles like got the guy he was after and where he kind of had to like settle and make a secondary decision You know, and I feel like it's pretty obvious through building this roster, like who he was after, but who he really wanted. You know, like DJ Moore, he really wanted DJ Moore and he got DJ Moore. But like, what's another Chase Claypool? Like he wanted a wide receiver and he got Chase Claypool. So like, I almost feel like it's fair to say like Ryan Poles' decision making is not bad. It's his secondary decision making that's bad. You know, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Ryan Poles gets punched in the face and then just shits his pants. Like,
yeah, I mean,
it's the secondary decisions that are really screwing him. I feel like in the long run, like look at free agency last year, right? Plan A was Saquon Barkley, and they were this close to getting him, and then they didn't, and they were like, DeAndre Swift, though, that's the guy. Fuck.
Does
Barkley replaced?
Does anyone disagree with this statement that I'm going to make? It's still too early to make a judgment on Ryan Poles, given that we're only 2 games into his rebuild of the rebuild.
The rebuild. When did that start?
Hey, what?
I think it started when they hired Ben Johnson.
Okay,
probably
absolutely started. You know, so now the players that he's
rebuild.
acquiring are different than the players Matt Eberflus would have wanted. You know, most GMs that have gone to the Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl have had at least two opportunities to bring in a head coach. And so Poles is getting his opportunity now. This is without a doubt his head coach. And nobody here or any football fan would disagree that he made a bad choice. This was the absolute best choice. He should have made it a little earlier if he could have, but
that's the problem, though. Okay,
this was Plan A, and it went well.
But I think that's the problem. If you could have made this deal a year earlier and brought him and Caleb together, I would have been more happy about this situation.
Absolutely,
but I believe, and I said this last year when the situation was going on, he's going to keep Eberflus, right? Because why? Number one, he saw a way to save his job a little bit, prolong it a little bit, give him a little bit more time. If I keep Eberflus, look at what the Bears did at the end of the season. If you look back at the stats, the defensive part of the football team took off at the end of that one season, right? And it was like, oh, well, they played so good. He got them to what? They were ranked 10, 12 in the league on the defensive side of the ball. Okay, if we can match that up and then maybe pay some attention to the offense, then, you know, get a new coordinator in here, things will take off. So he bought himself more time, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what he did by keeping Eberflus 1 year longer.
On the job. Three
That's
years.
a great point.
I'll agree with your statement, Aldo, but I will not be in the Poles I trust group anymore. I'm much more critical eye, but I'll agree with. I think maybe we are too early to judge, but I'm not in the let him cook phase anymore. So.
Give me sustained playoff appearances or a Super Bowl, and I will then fill in the blank trust, you know, because I just can't. I will never say that again. I mean, I'm a fan and I want to believe in Ryan Poles, but the last few years have been so frustrating to me just because as I reflect back on the decisions that Poles has made, I think he's made some big guffaws or whatever the word is, but I'm hopeful that he's going to turn that thing around now. All right, let's talk about.
Could I have a crack at that real quick though?
Absolutely. In fact, I'll put you center stage.
There's a lot to unpack there. There's certainly context and a backdrop. Certainly, Tyler Dunn's story is permeating the atmosphere behind or surrounding Ryan Poles and House Hall. And then, of course, Sports Mockery's Eric Clickbait Lambert's piece today, which was like Ryan Poles' increasingly hot seats at Alice growing increasingly hotter at House Hall today. You know, that was.
I didn't see that.
I have to check it. I mean, who knows? But I mean, certainly these things are permeating up there, and fans have a right to be frustrated. Like I said. We are. We haven't won. We've won one division game, and I don't know. We're 3-17 in Poles years. Yeah, 3-17 in the division. and we haven't won a playoff game since 2010. So all of these things, of course, are in the back of fans' minds. We're impatient. It's natural. We gave him a practice rebuild. It looks like, the schedule we know is hard. It's a tough schedule. I mean, we could very easily go 5-12, like I said, and be picking in the top 5 again. And like I said at the end of Bears State of Affairs, the only two things, and if this is the case, we start really losing. The only two things that the Bears will need to find out is whether Ben Johnson is the coach that can lead us to a sustained playoff, like Aldo says, or Super Bowl championship, and whether or not Caleb is the franchise quarterback. Because I was out on Eberflus after the first year. I was pretty much out on polls after the Chase Claypool debacle. Why are you giving a second round pick
That's too early, though.
For a cast off? I said no. It shouldn't be anything more than a 4th round. You don't offer a second round pick for somebody who's cast off the Steelers. Don't get rid of good players. I was alone on an island with that. I hated the trade. I took a lot of heat for it, but and then maybe not that soon, but it was the step of me mistrusting Ryan Poles.
But to bring this whole thing full circle, you say that what we need out of the season is knowing if Ben Johnson's the guy, knowing if Caleb is the guy.
Yep.
Well, in 2019, all we needed to know was if Nagy was the guy and if Trubisky was the guy. And then in 2021, all we needed to know was if Eberflus was the guy and if Fields was the guy. And now here we are again for the 3rd fucking time in less than a decade doing this shit all over again.
That's the context.
Should we go back further?
You got to ask this question, though. You have to ask this question, right?
Yeah, right.
But
when
we
you're
keep
thinking
asking
about
the question, and we keep getting
no. I'm not
answers.
talking about that question.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying
sorry.
you got to ask this question. If you move on from Ryan Poles, if you say, okay, let's get rid of him, let's move on, where do you go? I've asked that question earlier in this show. If you get rid of the GM because he's just inept at his job, he's terribly done his job, right? Where do you go, and what does that leave? Where does that leave Ben Johnson? Where does it leave Caleb Williams?
Look,
because a new GM comes in every time, and people might stick around for a year, but he starts stripping stuff away.
And they give these guys
he's the
contracts.
easiestly replaceable part of the 3. It's the easiest to replace the GM.
It's
hard to replace the quarterback.
But what Zim said is true. We're doing the same thing over and over and over again. You get rid of the GM, you get rid of the coach the next year, you draft another quarterback the year after that. And you don't match them up. You got to match them up, bro. You have to. Because if you don't, then nobody's tied to anybody. You understand? If you're not tied to if I'm not tied to the success of my quarterback or the GM, why as a head coach do I care?
How much rope do we give him, though? How much rope do you give him?
If the guy that hired me just now this year is fired 1 year into my tenure, what is that saying? What is that saying the new GM is going to do? Is he going to come in and give me a fair, legitimate shot? Do you think John Fox had a fair, legitimate shot when the new GM came in? Do you think Nagy was a lame duck coach when new GM came in? Every time you have a lame duck coach in that situation.
But Danikin, Ben Johnson would hire the next GM. He would work with Kevin Warren and say, this is the guy I can work with. And to be honest with you, that should be the approach. If Ryan Poles proves not to be the guy and Ben Johnson is showing that he could be a quality head coach in this league, then Warren should lean on Ben Johnson to pick the next GM. Let's face it, this is a head coach league, first and foremost.
Yeah,
let me ask you guys a
he's
question.
The most easily replaceable part of the 3.
Yep.
So let me ask you a question. If you go into it and you take a job anywhere that you may go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to lose your way? Do you want to get fired on your terms, or do you want to get fired with the previous regime's players and coaches?
Well,
if you take the GM position,
right.
Right. Do you want to get fired with my choices, or hey, this is the previous GM's choices, but now you're tied to it and you have to win with them?
Well, I mean, that's kind of the common approach. This is what you've been talking about almost all show, Danigan, is that
this
is that
this
mismarriage.
is his roster.
But it happens all the time. I mean, Mike Mayock, was following orders from John Gruden, and on and on and on. It's gone in the National Football League. The GMs typically are the pinnacle of power within a football organization. But over the years, we have seen head coaches encroach on that authority and have some success and some not success. So I don't think Ben Johnson would mind at all working with Kevin Warren to pick his next GM if it ever got to that. And
I hope that doesn't happen.
I
hope it doesn't happen. I just don't want to see. I don't want to see.
I just hope it
wash,
doesn't.
rinse, repeat. I just don't want to see the same thing.
I'm
over
with
and over
you.
again.
I'm with you. But I am hoping and praying that Poles and Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams are the answer. I don't want to go through this again. I don't want to. But we need results pretty soon here. All right.
So,
are you guys hungry?
One last question. Just one last question.
My man's in.
Did giving up 52 points to the Lions break Bears fans in week 2? Holy shit.
I mean, that was pretty bad.
This conversation.
Wait until this weekend, though.
That's
Can we just
what are you talking about, Zim?
Can we go back to when you and I had dinner out in Evanston a few weeks ago?
That's
Imagine us having this conversation now.
I would have
Aldo. This was Aldo during that dinner.
Oh my god!
Weeks ago.
Trust me.
I was there too.
I don't want this to happen. I really don't. I know that we are, particularly with pro football, because it's only one game a week. We get to, we are reactionary. It's only 2 games, but guess what? They only play 17. So
that's right. That's right.
I'll have to
Imagine
punch up
the
that schedule
conversation.
later. Bring up the schedule.
We'll do that. But I want to eat.
Imagine the conversation if
I'm
the
still
Bears
hungry, too.
rip off, 31-6 on Sunday.
Oh, the Bears are going to win, by the way.
That's
But we'll
gonna
talk
I'm
be
about
just
that
saying.
shortly.
Imagine they blow out Dallas and the defense
Bears are
steps
back.
up huge. And
Bears are
it's
back.
like,
Bears
what
are
are we
so
even doing
back.
here?
I told you so.
We'll be looking at the schedule and say, okay,
Oh my God.
the Packers are going to lose this one, and then we'll
It would
we'll
be
there.
so Bears. It would be
Indeed.
so Bears.
All right, Fitz, tell us about what we're going to see here.
Oh, Sam's great spot up on the north side of the city in Edgewater near Loyola, the Loyola campus.
I've actually been there.
It's nice.
You've been there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
I drove past it.
okay.
Really
It's right in
fast.
between pizza and a ramen place. So it's like there's this great smell as
It's
you
like
walk
under
down
the L,
block.
right? Under the L.
Yeah, it's right off the
Yeah.
it's right across the street from the Granville station, and
Yeah.
they've got all the Chicago barbecue items, and they sell Indian food too now. So I have a big sign that says we sell Indian food
Yeah.
now. So,
That's because of the
But-
neighborhood, right?
but yeah, it's so I got it's Sam's chicken and ribs, so I got chicken wings and rib tips. So that's and
Yeah,
my
used to
daughter
get
got a
rib tips
burger,
there,
and
too.
that was solid too. But
So
yeah,
you went with your daughter. She got a burger, and you got you got everything else.
yes, that's exactly right.
That's the way it typically works with Fitz. Again, great video. I have already seen it, and I want to share it with the world.
How did you get pointed to that place?
I was visiting her. I knew I was coming to
Okay.
visit her on Monday, and I was just looking like, oh, here we go. This place has some good food. Let's go. And that's what I did.
It's been there for a long time. I went there
Yeah.
in the 90s.
Yeah,
Okay.
I used to. No, I can't say that because Fitz's wife. Mom is watching.
What are you gonna say about
I
What-
had
what'd
a
you do there?
girlfriend in that area that I would make booty calls. Not my booty. hers.
because of the college girls?
Exactly. I'll anyway. Here it is.
Chicago-style barbecue from Sam's Chicken and Ribs. Just steps from the Red Line Granville Street Station is Sam's Chicken and Ribs at 1102 West Granville in the Edgewater neighborhood of Chicago. I got their 3-piece wing and tips dinner, 3 whole fried chicken wings, a pound of rib tips, and a bag of fresh cut fries for $16.99. The wings were crispy on the outside, perfectly fried, and moist and tasty on the inside. The tips were tender and flavorful, all covered in a sweet and tangy barbecue sauce. It paired perfectly with an ice-cold RC Cola. And don't forget the pizza puff. Sam's knocks it out of the park and gets a 325 on the Fitzometer. That's Sam's Chicken and Ribs at 1102 West Granville in Chicago, Illinois. Where should I eat next? Comment in the replies, #FitzMagicEats, and check out all of my reviews on my YouTube channel at FitzMagicShy.
Ta-da!
Hey, Fitz, we got a couple of recommendations for you, but before we get to those, again, explain the Fitzometer just for people who are tuning in for the first time.
Yep. It's just a batting average that a buddy of mine thought that I should do it for a rating system. So yeah, I think baseball batting average, the 300s are always good. Well, they used to be. I mean, when we cared about batting average. So I've thought about maybe bringing that rating system into the modern era, but I'm just going to go with the old school way for now. But
make it more of an OBP.
We going to do WAR or OPS or things like that.
There you go.
You know,
now keep it batting average for us old fogies.
Okay. Although my mom just texted me, she said she laughed at your booty call remarks.
Is your mom single? Anyway. G. Starren wants to know who was your camera person.
That was my daughter Andrea. My
oldest. Andrea, nice job. Nice.
Yeah, she does a good job. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So here are the recommendations. One of them just happens to come from the guy who is screen right on your screen left, and that is wrong one. Zim says check out Honey Bear Cafe. Why that place, Zim?
Honey Bear Cafe was my wife's favorite restaurant that we went to during our recent trip to Chicago. She is a sucker for brunch. So, it's up in the Rogers Park neighborhood, not very far at all. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not very far at all from Sam's there. So, you mentioned the area and I was like, oh, that's like just down the road, basically. Like, it would be, I don't know exactly where your neck of the woods is, but if you're up that direction, like I say, Honey Bear Cafe was her favorite meal that we went to while we were in Chicago. So,
all right, I will check it out.
Just wanted to throw that out.
My daughter's a big brunch person, so I'm sure she'll want to
there you go.
over there.
You get the best of two worlds, lunch and breakfast.
There you go.
Come on.
There you go.
That's meal of the day.
Relentless Mike.
I came prepared with snacks this week too. So.
Okay.
Look at you. Very good. Relentless Mike is suggesting the Apollos, probably Apollos. Anyway, Greek street food in Lisle.
Haven't been over to Lisle. All right.
That's a nice little drive for you. Actually, that's not too far from where you're at, right?
No, that's not far. I've just never had food over there, so gotta check it out.
All right, so what are you going to be eating during the Cowboy game? You got any tailgating tips or stuff that we can make at home?
I got a wedding this weekend, so I'm a little not sure what's going to go down this week or how that's going to play out. So,
are you going to review the caterer?
That's a good idea. It's in Maryville. It's in Indiana, so we got to check them out.
Review the caterer. Maybe they'll give you all the extras, the leftovers you can take home.
Last week I grilled some Polish sausage before the game. Watched the game outside.
There you
go. A good way to just sort of get through that fiasco. So, so it was a great day. But I don't know how it's going to work Sunday. So. Have to be on.
It's a 3:30 game or something.
Is it? It's a late game.
That's a late game.
Yeah.
Why does that bother you so much?
Oh, I have this awesome job that makes me work during any time you would ever want to do anything.
Okay, gotcha. I understand that. Right.
Quit.
He's trying to get another job, I think, right, Zim?
That is neither here nor there. I am giving 100% to my current employer because they pay my bills and keep a roof over my head, and they deserve 100% for that. So,
Jeff Willis, co-host of the Willis Twin Tower Show on Friday, says he's got a handful of pizza places in South Bend. If you're ever in that area, let him know. Yeah, he's talked about that in his show. He grew up a Notre Dame fan. He lives out in Indiana, or lived out in Indiana. He's out west now. Fitz, you want to stick around for the rest of the show, or you're more than welcome to?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
I got another Oreo here if you have time for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you sure?
All right.
Is it the one with the Reese's Oreo?
Yes, I found it.
Yeah, nice. I saw them at the store today.
I had to stop
They're
myself.
buy one get one free at the Jewels, man.
Holy shit! You think they overordered?
I found the mini cups, the mini Oreo Reese's cups. I wasn't a huge fan of those, but this is the actual cookie. So I want to try these out here. Oh, it's like special packaging. You get a box and the.
Oh wow,
man!
So
what is this? I gotta see this.
What do we got here? Oh, these look like they're double stuffed. So, that's a nice filling there. And
very nice.
Reese's and Oreos are like my two favorite snacks. Reese's Pieces are my favorite candy of any type of sweet. So, outside of my mom's chocolate chip cookies. So,
I like to see what his eyes say as he bites into it. His eyes say, "Yeah, this is delicious."
This is what I would expect out of an Oreo and a Reese's Pieces.
Do you have milk there?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got my Bears cup.
Excellent. I have bourbon.
So
I'm
so the
retired, so I can drink bourbon.
Is it true Reese's peanut butter versus that regular peanut butter? Like it's got that honey kind of flavor to it.
Yes, it's definitely the. This is like out of a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Good.
Daniken,
there you go.
Daniken, are you a cookie guy?
I mean, I do cookies sometimes, man. My son loves the Oreos. He likes the what is the yellow ones, the vanilla ones, whatever they are.
Yeah,
he loves them.
We had those on a couple.
The golden Oreo.
Golden Oreo, yeah.
Golden Oreo.
Yeah,
I preferred brownies or chocolate bars, but really, you bake it into whatever, and as long as it gets the job done,
I'm
Cookies
Chips
are fine
Ahoy,
too.
man. I like Chips Ahoy a little bit better, but Oreos are good too, though.
Yes, I like the Reese's cereal.
Coated Oreo. It's like coated with chocolate or something or fudge.
Mm-hmm. Those are dangerous.
Now Oreo, deadly. Those little sandwich ice cream sandwiches.
Those
are
awesome.
really good.
Yeah,
man. Those are good.
My girls love those.
No, this is really good. If you like Oreos and Reese's, this is a good. Yeah, this is a good combo. This is definitely a 330. That's
if
a good
you like
chip.
Oreos and Reese's, meaning if you're a living, breathing, red-blooded American.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be coated in chocolate too. That would be good.
Oh,
double up.
Yeah, that's really good.
Fitz, if they were to infuse those cookies with THC or some kind of CBD, would you be interested in them? And I know your mom is not listening to the show right now. Oh, I didn't do that.
Sorry,
I didn't do that.
Mama.
All right, it's 10:30, Mom. Go to bed.
Would you be interested in a THC Oreo?
Oh, yeah.
I'll be honest. I've never dabbled in the THC.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Actually, I did once. My brother gave me some THC oil. My brother-in-law did, and it had no effect on me. So
the first time is usually either like a truck or not at all. So
yeah, it was not at all. So I just wasn't impressed, and
Aldo, it
I don't
sounds like
know.
we need to find a tailgate in a sketchy parking lot somewhere.
Yeah. When Zim and I first met face to face, we were tailgating for a Bears Monday night game. I think it was. It was a night game. Sunday night. Mm-hmm. And Sim says, "Hey, you want to smoke with me?" And I had not smoked in like 4 decades. I'm like, "Yeah." And so then we got to take this bus ride to Soldier Field, and it was like, I felt like I was headed to Cook County Jail.
Yeah,
I was
standing room only on the bus. Aldo and I are ass to ass standing in the aisle,
and he's talking to me. I'm high. I'm like, yeah, pretending to listen to what the hell he was saying.
26 in California.
Exactly. I did a documentary there. I was there for 5 days one week, and we had to get up early to get a shot of all the buses coming in, and the shot of everybody coming out of the bus with handcuffed and stuff.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, that was wild. It was a
J2K said, and since then,
I'm sorry, say that again.
J2K, you're listening to the story saying, and since then.
That's right. And since then, no comment. No comment. All right, guys. It is what time? We're 2 hours in. Should we shift the focus here from cookies and football to? I got a little transition video.
Can we
here.
talk a little Bears Cowboys real quick?
Absolutely, sir. Go for it.
I don't know if you guys watch. I love the over in this game. It's creeping up. I already put a bet at 50.5.
Are we talking more Bears? All right. Okay.
And I don't know if you watched the game between the Cowboys and Giants last week, which was, I don't know, it was like 70 some points scored in that game.
Yeah.
The Cowboys played for a 60-yard field goal at the end, and that son of a gun made it he had 10 yards to spare, the kicker on the Cowboys, man. Watch out for this guy, man.
He's got a leg.
All they did was play for a 60-yard field goal to get in range and win it.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen that before.
Must be nice.
Let's talk Bears and Cowboys. Let's listen to Ben Johnson talk about this Cowboy team.
Really, nothing official has been decided yet with him, so no update there. We're looking ahead here for Dallas coming in town. Should be a good matchup. This is a hot team right now. We know that they can score points in a hurry. Playmakers all across the field. Offensive line's playing at a high level right now. And then, of course, the quarterback he's playing some of the best football in the NFL right now, in my opinion. So we've got our work cut out for us there. I mean, their running game is significantly improved from where it was a year ago. Brought in a new coordinator, and you can tell he's had his imprint here on that offense and what they're doing there in the running game in particular. Defensively, this is a group that rallies to the football. They hustle. They play with good fundamentals. It's going to be one of those games where we have to be on our technique because this is a group that can hurt you in a hurry. I know they added a little bit to the defensive line here early this week, and so we got a new face that we haven't seen on tape quite yet that we got to account for. But it'll be a good challenge here for our offense as we're looking to find our footing. I'll go ahead and open it up from there.
There you go. That's a nice detailed breakdown on that Cowboy team.
I was hoping so badly he was going to go, and this defense, they follow that hits thing really tightly.
He did have some nice things to say about Eberflus and saying that it's a well-coached defense. They swarm to the ball, and so forth.
He made it a point to specifically compliment their offensive coordinator.
Yes, he
I
did.
feel like if he wanted to say something nice about Eberflus, he very well could.
He would have volunteered it as opposed to being asked a question like the reporter did. Yes, you're right. You're right.
Losing Jalen Johnson is going to hurt in this. The Cowboys had two very good wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. I don't know if the Bears had the talent to man up with the two Cowboys wide receivers. So it could be a long day for the Bears secondary. If they get Kyler Gordon back, I'll feel a lot better. It could be a long day.
He's a DNP again today. I don't know why he's not on IR.
So,
because they're hoping and praying that he'll come back, especially with Jalen hurt.
It's week 3 and he's still DNP at this point. Like you've wasted what would have been a prime IR spot where you could have brought somebody in like Asante Samuel Jr. or somebody along those lines. Kendall Fuller's still available. There's all these decent, albeit not amazing, but decent cornerbacks still available that would probably take a league minimum of that minimum contract just to get out there and put something on tape to show they can still play.
Well, and they brought in Jalen Jones, the former Bear who was attached to some other Bear, but not
the guy who's been there freaking 4 times already. Like, why?
It wasn't
don't-
4 times.
All right,
but when he did play, I thought, Zim, that he was fairly impressive. Not
He's
that
serviceable.
He's serviceable. That's the word. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, losing Terrell Smith and losing Jalen Johnson, it's punishing our secondary.
Mhm. Not to mention Zay Frazier, the guy that they thought they were going to be able to count on as a depth piece.
Draft
He's
pick
not there.
Is not missing a full. It's a red shirt season.
Yes, you have 3 DBs on your roster that you expected on your initial 53 to contribute that are now all out for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Jalen Jones was a DNP today. Jalen Johnson is a DNP. Kyler Gordon is a DNP. Nobody else really of note. We already know about TJ Edwards and Grady Jarrett. So
And that's
By the
another
way-
thing. I mean, you look at the Cowboys. They're going to have a tough time not only against the wide receivers, but Jake Ferguson is no pushover, man.
Oh,
Mhm.
Jake Ferguson is going to feast. I think
He can play.
Ferguson is more dangerous than the wide receivers in this game.
Yeah.
He can play.
And their running back, Javonte Williams, is, I have him on my
Rejuvenated.
fantasy.
He's a year removed from his last injury, so it
He's
looks
a
lot.
bowling ball, man. He is
Always been a good receiver. 52 receptions last year.
He's always been a good receiver. He's always been a bowling ball through the middle of the line.
Yep.
He is a really weird and rare combination of power and catching. Like, he's not going to make you miss, but he's going to let you know that you just tackled him.
Yeah.
Hey, Fitz, when you beat the crap out of somebody in fantasy football, do you use your podcast to denigrate them in any way? Because I beat the shit out of Stevenson Zimmerman this
Do it. Do it.
He said to start or sit Amon-Ra St. Brown last
Oh, my God. I also said to sit Jonathan Taylor. Like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. In my defense,
wish I
think
could
that's
play
Amon-
next week too.
I swear to God, in my defense, that is Amon-Ra's first good game against the Bears, maybe ever. I swear to God.
Get out. I have to look at that. Fitz, back me up, brother. I need your backup.
Yeah, do it. Just go for it. Come on.
In my
All fun and
defense,
games. Come on.
I play in 4 leagues. I'm 6-2 on the season. I've gone 3-1 both weeks. So I'm
Can we take a look at
undefeated
that
in the league
schedule
that I
too,
care
Aldo?
about.
What was that, Tooch?
The schedule. Can we take a little look at the schedule?
Oh, okay.
We gotta be 2-2 heading into that bye, Danica.
Hey, we're still on schedule.
We gotta be.
Yeah, I think 1-3 is possible.
Listen, guys, are you telling me there's no chance to beat the Cowboys? Because I have to disagree with you.
No,
Oh, yeah,
there's
I mean-
absolutely a chance. It's just a matter of whether you think this offense can score 59 points or not.
It's not going to be that much.
Well, I mean, like we're definitely handicapped going into this game. Our secondary is so banged up. It's not the team to be banged up in the secondary.
No, this is going to be like a 38-34 kind of game. Like, this is
Was Bears -1.5 the opening line? Now it's Cowboys -0.5.
You know why?
It's
Why
moved-
is that,
It's moved
Tooch?
two points already. I mean, injuries probably and sharps are on the Cowboys.
Yeah. I don't know. Hell, I look at the schedule and I say maybe they win 2 games, but I'm a Bears fan. They're going to be 2-2, and then they're going to come back and beat the crap out of Washington on Monday Night Football. That's how I want to live my life in fantasy.
Well, I think
land.
they win in Washington. I really think they win in Washington.
Jaden Daniels coming back down to earth.
Yeah, the Bears are not. We're terrible on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Historically, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Relentless
Yeah,
Mike
that's
says we're the underdog in week 5. You gotta admit that's true.
What games are Mikey? What games are we favored in the rest of the season? I want to know, man.
Browns, they got to be favored against Cleveland.
Yeah, maybe
New
Cleveland,
New
yeah.
Orleans.
I don't
New
know.
Orleans.
No,
Maybe the
Cincinnati.
Giants. Maybe the Giants.
That without Joe
Cincinnati
Burrow.
will still be favored. New Orleans or Cleveland, I think, are the only
The
games
Giants.
to be
What about
favored.
the Giants?
Maybe the Giants, yeah.
No, not the way.
But those
that
are
their
all 3
offense is
road
playing.
games, you know? You got to
Russell-
figure, a 3-point. Oh, no, those are all home
Yeah.
games for us. Okay, sorry.
White is home. Yeah.
Yeah, White is home. Okay. Yeah.
Oh my God! Can you imagine how fucking loud that fraud ass first round mock is going to be if they lose week 7?
Oh gosh.
Is that his guy Spencer? That
They lose to the Saints. It's over.
He's the guy
That's
who
my kid.
comments on every Caleb Williams post ever that I guarantee he's going to be a bust.
So next week 3 and week 4, are we 2-0? Are we winning those 2 games to finish 2-2 in the bye?
Yes.
Let's give Ben and the Bears the benefit of the doubt. After that, how many wins are we getting the rest of the way?
So you're saying 2-2 going into the bye?
Yes.
Let's see. I think they easily win against Washington.
Ooh.
I think they should win against New Orleans.
Yep.
There's a chance they steal
4-game winning
Cincinnati.
streak there.
Good chance they win week 15, and then obviously they're going to win.
Zach.
They're going to win 14 and 16 easily, without even trying. They're going to walk through those games. So, I mean, that puts them at like 7 wins. Like 14, I think that's our highlight of the season when they win week 14, 15, and 16, all 3 in a row.
There's no easy wins. I'm going to say 4-13, 5-12.
Oh my gosh!
At this point,
You guys are all negative, man. The Bears are going to win out the rest of the way.
Yeah.
That's Wait a minute. Hold on. I got a theme song.
Goes.
I got a theme song too.
People like to call him I just wish he looked much harder.
What is it?
Genuinely, though,
That
if
was
this
excellent.
team is rolling at the end of the year, I think they take week 18 personally. And no matter what the Lions' record is, I think they come out swinging hard. If they
the
have
Lions could be resting all their guys.
If they have any semblance of momentum going into that game, I expect them to leave it all on the field.
Get out. The Lions aren't going anywhere. Where's my?
They still have a hell of an offense.
Dan Campbell will play starters.
I think that was an aberration. What happened at Ford Field last week was an aberration. The Lions are hardly going to reach 500 this season. Watch.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Mafia boss, you're trying to crop in on my territory.
That's a great picture. Come on, let's give some score predictions. Let's see where your money in your mouth
This
is.
week?
Yes. Bears Cowboys. Go ahead, Sam. You go first.
9-6 Bears.
Jeez.
No,
They
realistically.
should bet that. Dude, odds are probably plus 14,000
Yeah,
on the
right.
9-6 game.
Yeah,
In all reality, I go because I want to stick with what. See, I said last week I wasn't going to pick the Bears until they give me a reason to. But now I'm like looking at the 2023 Broncos squad, and I'm like, man, they just needed a get right game, and all of a sudden things worked. And this defense gives them the opportunity for a get right game. Dallas's defense ain't all that if you can just shut down their pass rush. Excuse me. So let's say 24-13 Bears.
Bears.
What?
Go ahead, Daniken. Give me a score. Give me a reason why you got that score.
34-20 Dallas. I just think I don't think the Bears have enough time to fix what they have going on, the problems that they have in front of them. I think the defense is reeling. I think it's way too much to right the ship against a decent offense, a really good offense, actually. I mean, Dallas is gonna put up numbers, man. And when you get into a shootout with a team, can the Bears keep up? I don't see that being the case. I really don't. So I think Dallas scores over 30. I think the Bears, they put together a couple of scores and they get 20, and it's going to be 34-20.
That's Mr. Daniken, never known for panicking. He's one of the 3 kings. Wisdom is what he brings.
I just want to give one quick counterpoint before we get the other guys. Look, the only thing standing in the Cowboys' the only thing standing in the Cowboys' way this week is the Cowboys. And whenever that happens to them, they get in their own way. I mean, year in and year out, the Cowboys cannot get out of their own way. And that's the only thing standing between them and victory this week. So That is my singular reason why I'm picking the Bears.
The Bears offense matches up well with this Cowboys defense. This is going to be a shootout. This is going to be a shootout. I predicted a 38-31 Bears win. But go ahead, Fitz. I haven't heard from you. Talk to us about.
I'm going the exact opposite of Zim. I'm going to keep choosing the Bears until they give me a reason to choose the Bears. So, okay.
Fair enough. I
don't care if they keep losing. I'm just going to keep picking the Bears. So this is going to be a shootout. No one's going to stop anyone. Okay. They're both going to get in each other their own way. The Bears are going to get in the Bears' way. The Cowboys are going to get in the Cowboys' way. I'm going 54-48 Bears. Let's go. Okay.
If the Bears put up 54 points, I will shave my head live on stream.
There we go.
Live
on stream.
Live on stream next week. If the Bears put up 50 or more points, I will cut my hair off.
25-yard field goal or something.
No, are you serious, Sim? Will you do that?
Dead ass. I will cut my hair on stream if the Bears put up 50 or more points.
Zim,
Nice.
are you sure you're okay?
Are you sure?
I might have to switch my pick now and really root for the Bears.
Exactly.
Boy.
I'll fly to Arizona or Iowa to do the cutting myself with my razor.
If I could add something, there was a tweet out there today, or it was 2 days ago, I think, that I responded to that got a decent amount of response. It was what is it? Something other than drugs and alcohol. What's it? What is a greater greater addiction than drugs or alcohol? I said I'm being a Chicago Bears fan. And the reason I say that,
that's good. That's good.
I started watching the Bears right around 84, 85. I was like 8 years old, 9 years old. So it was the greatest thing ever. It was the greatest season ever. And I've been trying to get that hit ever since, and I've never gotten quite there. 2006, but that's how it's like the greatest addiction is being a Bears fan, because I'm trying to get that high that I got in 85 when I was 9 years old. So,
yeah.
The conversation makes sense like a motherfucker.
Actually, that's my man.
Everybody, we all been chasing that high, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed, man.
40 years for me.
40 years? No. 2006 gave us some thrills.
They didn't win though, so it wasn't.
See, okay, I gotta fight back a little bit, because only one team wins. If your team wins the conference championship, I gotta give you a lot of credit for that. You lost the Super Bowl game, but it means a lot. I mean, I'm not a participation trophy kind of guy. Why are you laughing at me, Zim? Go ahead.
It was my birthday. It is literally the worst birthday I've ever had.
Wow.
That's wild.
I actually watched that at a hotel room in Indianapolis.
Really?
Yeah.
What were you doing there?
I was helping my parents move from Detroit to Arkansas, and they decided the coldest weekend in winter to do that. So it was sub-zero weather. The truck froze, the moving truck froze. We were stuck in Indianapolis for the night.
That's funny.
Enemy territory.
Yeah.
I think everybody
great,
saw
and
when
after that it was just downhill.
Yeah.
Behind enemy lines,
Devin
a Bears fan story, although it writes itself.
Oh,
when
you ain't kidding.
When Devin Hester ran that back, everybody hit the ceiling. I know I did.
They knew where I was from.
Oh yeah.
At a Super Bowl party going crazy. I'm running down the through the house going crazy.
Yeah.
The worst for me is when we let Green Bay into the playoffs.
Oh.
And then they beat us to go to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. That we should have never let them in the playoffs. We let them in because we rested players.
100%.
That was I was upset.
100%. That pissed me off so much.
Such a Bears thing to do, though.
Twice we let them into the playoffs.
Peak Bears.
Yeah.
Well, I can't pick the Bears until they win a game.
Come on.
I'll start picking them once they show me they can win a game. I'm gonna look. the Cowboys starting center, I think, is out, Cooper Beebe. So hopefully we can get some pressure up the middle. Grady, Grady, I'm calling Grady Jarrett. You know, but I think I'll go Cowboys 33, Bears 31, and Caleb drives us all the way down and a missed Cairo Santos field goal to win it. And the Bears lose again. I know.
Oh man.
I know. It writes itself, Aldo.
It does.
It writes itself.
By the way, did you guys know something about
Aldo was an MS-13 gang member.
We suspected, though.
Have you ever met an MS-13 gang member?
Have I ever? No. I grew up with the Latin Kings, the Spanish Lords, all in the inner city, but the MF, whatever the fuck they're called, no.
I met one, man. He's got to be the dumbest guy I ever met.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did he work with you or for you?
No, his wife works with me.
Oh gosh. I hope you weren't flirting with his wife.
Nope. She was way too old for me.
Good call. All right, should we talk a little pop culture?
I'm ready this time.
All right.
Put the game of football away. Yeah. Let's turn to movies today. Yeah. Music, streaming, and much more. Anything but the Bears score.
Anything but the Bears score. I love that line.
That's great. Fantastic. I love this. And Pseudo getting our money's worth.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, Tooch, tell me what you've seen, because you've always got something good for us.
I got a couple. Well, of course, I'm watching Alien Earth. I just watched episode 7 last night, which was fantastic as well.
Is it getting better and better? Or
yeah, I mean, it's so solid, man. It's great. If you love the Alien movies, it's a solid entry into the Alien universe, and this is like a TV show. They've always done movies, now they're doing a TV show, which is great.
Yeah,
nice.
You can digest it in 45-minute intervals. But I recently watched a new show, which I kind of really like. It's in that Sunday 8 p.m. slot on HBO, which is like their Hammer slot. The cleanup hitter. So it's called Task. It's with Mark Ruffalo, and I forget the name of it is. Really good, man. I love it. Although you
two
like
episodes in, yeah, right.
I've only seen the first episode, but it's an interesting. Mark Ruffalo plays a aging, semi-alcoholic FBI agent, former priest. He was a priest. Now he's an FBI agent. It's a great character background they drew this character. And he is tasked with setting up a task force. That's the task of Task.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got like four like young FBI agents. They're like Zoomers. They're all kind of, a couple of them are good. Some of them are neurotic. It's obviously, but they're investigating or trying to track down a gang who is hitting drug houses, home invasion, robbing drug dealers, and trying to, get out with their retirement fund. And I forget who plays the lead. He's really good. He was in that show Outer Range as one of the sons of Josh Brolin. I don't know his name, but he's really good. There's a decent cast along the way too. Eric Dane, I think, is in it.
Eric Dane is good. Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo is really good in this spot. He's just like, and there's some sort of family drama going on where I don't know whether it's his daughter or the daughter and stepson, or son and and the son sort of I think sexually abused the daughter, and the son is in jail. So this is kind of like a side story of what he's dealing with. And when he gets called in to do the task force, he says, this is not a good time for me. I know what I've got going on in my family, but there's no one else to do it. So he's been given the shot at, was given the job of putting this task force together. And the robbery, they're on a collision course with Mark Ruffalo and his team. So every episodes they draw closer to each other. Inevitable collision course. So the gang they don't want to be violent, but by dearth of circumstance or whatever, they accidentally do something and it gets more violent, and Well, you have to watch it to find out. There are only 2 episodes out right now. It's called Task on HBO.
Yeah, I noticed that the first episode was a little over an hour long. The second one,
it's a longer one.
Yeah, so I'll definitely be checking that out with my wife. She likes those kind of shows, and the Alien one as well.
Oh yeah.
All right, Fitz, you got anything that you want to share?
Well, I just finished the Wednesday on Netflix. I like that kind of stuff. It's fun. This season was a little confusing, but still it was just a good watch. It's don't take it seriously, So but there's a lot of good action in it, a lot of good acting in it, a lot of good actors and actresses in it. So but yeah, I really liked it. I enjoyed it. So they brought out the last 4 episodes at the beginning of September. So that was a good one. And then the Unknown Number, the documentary on Netflix about the catfishing. Do you guys know this story?
Sounds familiar.
This teen couple are getting these unknown numbers texting them. This girl's getting these texts. It's a true story, okay? These texts about, trying to get her to break up with her boyfriend, and they're awful texts coming in. Find out it's coming from her mother.
Yeah, it's in People magazine, this last one I just did.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So if you guys are parents out there and ever think that you're a bad parent, you are not, because you have not said some horrible thing. It was just off. I couldn't believe what I was watching. It's like, I knew the story a little bit, but when he got into the details of it, just what the mom was doing, it was
texting her
horrible.
daughter, say, kill yourself. Kill yourself. You're a bitch. And just using the dirtiest words ever because she was attracted to her boyfriend. That's the deal.
It never really got to that, but never really got that answer out of her, but it seemed like that. Yeah, it was just alluded to that. It's just really creepy, but that I kind of those true crime things I'm really into. So that was a one that made me, all the mistakes I ever made as a parent, that it was never that bad. So
you hear stories like that, and it makes you think maybe the Menendez boys,
just stop right there. Right?
Yeah. I'm not gonna draw any conclusions further than that.
I was gonna say, you want them released and living in your neighborhood? I don't think so, right?
All I'm saying is some of these parents, man,
No, I'm with you, bro.
Not all of us have the greatest relationship with our parents, but god damn, is it better than that,
Yeah.
Did you ever see the I think it was a TV movie with Javier Bardem playing the father of the Menendez brothers? Did you ever see?
Monster on Netflix. Yeah.
There's been 2 or 3 different interpretations of that whole thing, but I got a kick out of that one because Javier Bardem is a fantastic actor.
He is. And he played that role eerily well.
Oh my God. Yes. Jeez. So, and the 2 young guys that played the brothers were pretty good as well.
Brought Milli Vanilli back on the map.
There you go. Indeed. Zim, what have you seen? What do you got for us?
Well, yeah, I mean, highlighted on mine, speaking of Monster and the Menendez boys, I was kind of trying to use that to transition a little bit, but October 3rd, just a few weeks away, the new season of Monster is dropping, which is highlighted on my list. So in the first season, they did Jeffrey Dahmer. In the second season, they did the Menendez brothers. Now in this third season, they'll be highlighting Ed Gein.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Is a very sick and twisted man.
Yes.
What's really interesting with him is what they found does not add up with what they know, even a little bit. So there's a lot of extrapolation and guesswork that's been done with him. So at any rate, that is something I think to highlight for a lot of people. As for myself, what I've actually been watching, not a lot lately, to be completely honest with you guys. I'm still working my way through Blue Mountain State again. I've decided to rewatch 30 Rock, which totally holds up. Great show about, a fictional sort of Saturday Night Live cast and crew, and just their week to week sort of goings ons, and it's a sitcom on top of it all. So J2K says Mindhunter. Yes, I have been on Mindhunter for years. I remember eagerly anticipating season 2 just to find out that season 2 was probably it.
That's the David Fincher series,
yes,
right?
the David Fincher series, correct.
Okay.
Excellent show. Ends on a hell of a cliffhanger because there is no guarantee it will ever come back to air.
That sucks.
What I did want to take this moment with pop culture and whatnot to highlight is that last Friday, I went to the varsity team's football game here in town, and just kind of wanted to remind everybody that, you know, local sports are important too. You know, we talk about the pros here on our club or on our show, and they all started somewhere, man. They all started at a certain level, and that's somebody's kid out there playing their heart out. And you know, it's the same thing when you go 5 minutes down the road to your local school, you know, and whether you know them or not doesn't matter. You know, it's not weird, it's not creepy, it's not anything if you're just going there to support some kids who are living their dreams. You know, we can do it in a million different ways. We can, you know, support the fundraisers or whatever, you know, which we know about with our kids, but you can also just go down to the stadium on a Friday night and find a community there. And that's truly what it is for a lot of these teams, is a community. So I just wanted to stand up on my soapbox and say, you know, I went to that for the first time genuinely since I was in high school. So for the first time in the better part of 2 decades, and it was a blast. I had a lot of fun, and seeing those kids celebrate their touchdowns, and, you know, the home team blew out the visitors. It was a really big game for them. It was the second home game of the season, but it was a rivalry game, and they won. I think the final was 63-9. If I remember correctly. It was 45-6 when I left. And, I mean, they were putting the beat down on those kids. That running back, man. I went and looked him up on what is that? Max Prep or whatever it is.
Max Prep, yeah.
I went and looked him up on there. Like, is this kid like that good? Like, do I need to know about him? And turns out, well, no, he just small town Iowa versus small town Iowa. Some of these kids really stand up above the rest. But
what do you think? He's 17 years old, or 16, 17 there?
I think it said he was a senior, so probably 17, 18 years old.
Okay.
But I mean, small guy, fast as hell, was impressive to watch. So just made me wonder. At any rate, like I say, that it means the world to these kids just to be out there cheering them on, rooting them on. And, you know, for those of us who've played, you know, you got to remember any game could be their last one, and to have somebody out there cheering them on means the world to them. So
absolutely.
I'll get off my soapbox now and just say that.
I covered high school sports for 11 years, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like every Friday night in the fall for 11 years, I was at a high school football game somewhere in Arkansas. And I know exactly.
I went to a game. Went to a game last year for Valley High School, which is a pretty big program for here, West Des Moines area, West Des Moines, and Coach Gary Swenson has been coaching high school football for 51 years. Last game, he won his 500th or 400th career win. Wow. The last game I went to was like I left at halftime. They were winning 49-0. I was like, this game's over. I don't need to stick around. But congratulations to Coach Swenson for his 400th win, West Des Moines Valley High School.
Pretty cool. I went to a
strip coach in Iowa history.
I went to a strip bar and supported all the 19-year-old girls that worked there.
Wonderful. That is a great segue into what I wanted to speak about.
Mrs. Fitzpatrick, I hope you're sleeping.
But no, shout out to those kids that do play football. I mean, like I take my son to the high school games and everything like that. He loves it because he plays, but he plays Pee Wee, of course. You know what I mean? That's what I was doing with the little trophy here. That's his trophy, my son's, that he won. So that's fun. But as far as pop culture is concerned, it was a nice segue, Aldo.
Thank you.
I was going to mention a TV show. Well, it's a docu-series, you might say, 5-part series entitled Magic City: The American Fantasy. Now, this is talking about the gentleman's establishment called Magic City here in Atlanta, Georgia, where I live, right? I'm not saying I've been to this establishment, but the reason why I wanted to watch it, not for this reason that most people would be thinking, that I wanted to look at the women that were dancing or doing other things in that club, right? But the reason that I wanted to watch it is because they have something called Lou Will lemon pepper barbecue wings, and I said, what a great thing. I mean, they're world famous. They're so famous, right? These wings are so famous at Magic City that they're actually on like DoorDash. You can DoorDash those wings from the strip club, Magic City, to your home if you wanted to eat them.
Man comes to a time in his life.
No, that's crazy.
Extra view.
Does the stripper deliver it though? DoorDash? No?
I don't
That
know.
would be
I
out.
don't know.
Can you pay extra for that, Aldo?
Absolutely. Is this it, Daniken?
Location, right?
There you go. Can I go with the Fitz? I'll bring a lot of singles. Do they still do singles at strip bars? I imagine with inflation.
No, you got to keep up with inflation, man. It's $5s now.
It's got to be $5s. Yeah, I figured that.
No,
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. We use $2 bills.
Canadian currency. All right, guys. Anything else you want to share? Fitz, I got the feeling that I cut you off before you were done with your suggestions on pop culture. Did I do that?
No, we're good.
Okay, good.
Although,
go ahead.
Before I came on the show, I was like still working till like 8 something. I was trying to finish up Bears State Affairs, but
you need to leave that job.
Well, it's a Robert Redford tribute. It has to be done by tomorrow. On the
my guy, Robert. Yes.
Yeah, on the newsstand in a couple days. So I'm just
cool. But
knock it out fast. Yep.
So I'll start with you and go around the horn. Is there a Robert Redford movie that you would like to shout out as a movie that you saw and said, "Hey, that's pretty good. That guy can act."
Butch and Sundance, of course. You know,
awesome. With Paul Newman, indeed.
Underrated 3 Days of the Condor.
CIA classic drama with Faye Dunaway. Yes,
she was so beautiful back then, man. She was hot.
She was gorgeous.
Jeremiah Johnson, of course, was classic.
Jeremiah Johnson. Anybody else have a Redford movie?
The Natural. I love The Natural. I know a lot of people kind of think it's boring or whatever, but I could sit and watch it every time it's on.
It's a beautiful movie. It's a beautiful movie. I mean, it is the aesthetics in it when he hits the home run, and it's a fantasy, and the lights are going off like fireworks and stuff. The soundtrack, Glenn Close is the woman in white and stuff. The old timers as the managers and coaches. Richard Farnsworth,
Wilford Brimley,
Wilford Brimley. Oh my gosh, yes. That's one that I would watch again tonight if they were playing it in tribute.
I was trying to catch Mike North's tribute too. I didn't have a chance, but
the baseball scenes were filmed at Old Memorial Stadium in Buffalo.
In Buffalo, that's right. That's right. Yeah, good stuff. Daniken, you like Redford at all?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and throw out there something that you guys wouldn't think of, and it's Charlotte's Web. He was Ike the Horse in Charlotte's Web.
Really?
I love that movie too. When I was a kid, man.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Ike the Horse cartoon too. Yeah,
no idea. Zim, are you looking up Redford's filmography?
I am. I know who he is, but I'm not familiar with.
I know who he is.
I know. Well, because obviously I've seen Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I've
you just don't know if it was Butch Cassidy or the Sundance Kid, right?
Exactly. I was young. So I'm looking through IMDb right now, trying to see if there's anything in particular that stood out to me.
All the President's Men.
Exactly what I was going to say.
I had to watch that senior year of high school, that's for sure. But
listen, that's
Captain America,
about a very important part of American history. And I walked into the movie theater like everybody else. We knew the ending. Mm-hmm. We knew it all. So not yet. It still is fascinating. Every minute of it, the investigative reporting, the acting in it. It's just really a good movie.
People want to talk.
Oh, Perry
That's right.
Mason.
People want to
He was
talk.
in an episode of Perry Mason, apparently.
Oh, when he was young, and the Twilight
Twilight
Zone.
And the
Zone.
Twilight Zone. I have
Yeah.
seen the episode of the Twilight Zone that he was in.
Yes, I saw that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That, I mean, the whole series of the Twilight Zone was honestly fantastic to me. But yeah,
Sneakers. Yeah.
I forgot he was in that. That was that the one with James Gandolfini? He did one with James Gandolfini where they were in a prison. Redford was, I think, the warden or something. No, warden was Gandolfini.
The Last Castle.
That's it. D. Steiner says Georgia girls. Wait a minute. Georgia girls really know how to take care of themselves. Like, yeah, they do. According to that preview of that show that I'm gonna be watching tonight.
Yeah, there's some cleavage in that one, man, I'll tell you.
Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Any final words? Anything you want to say? Get off your chest, because if not, you're gonna regret it for the rest of your life.
Go around the horn or shout outs?
Yes. Why don't you start, Tooch?
Well, Friday got weekend sports betting tips coming up with Anthony and Sean, and then Sunday I'll be Barfly Tailgate with Adam Schaum filling in for Aaron Curran, breaking down the Cowboys, my favorite Okie.
Nice.
And if you guys don't know Adam from Fantasy Football Goon, he is he's fantastic. I'm hoping the Barflies will get to know him as well, like Zim and I do. His accent is fabulous.
Oh.
And then making my return to Fantasy Football Goon. I was on vacation last weekend. So that's about it. I'll just shout out my co-hosts here. Everyone, great job.
Hey, Daniken, Adam Schaum, the guy that Tooch is just talking about, like he says, he's got this thick Georgia, Oklahoma accent.
Yeah.
And he's a fantasy football savant.
Mm-hmm.
So every once in a while he calls me up and says, I got a trade offer for you. I can't do the Oklahoma accent.
Yeah, it's a fantastic cowboy. He's a cowboy. He grew up a Bears fan in Cowboys territory, so he's going to break down the Cowboys for us on Sunday.
But I don't answer his calls anymore because the guy knows so much more about fantasy football. I can't, and with any confidence at all, say, yeah, I'll make that trade with you because I know he's going to win the trade. So anyway, Vince, what do you got?
I'd like to give a shout out to Capri Ristorante in Palos Heights. My cousin from Baltimore was in town, and we took her to dinner there, and
nice,
lovely time. And I think I can confidently say it's my favorite lasagna in Chicagoland area, and it's still under $20. So it's a huge portion. You know, probably 3 meals worth, and it's $20, and it's still the best. I can confidently say it's probably my favorite. It is my favorite lasagna, and the best wine pours around too. I think you get like a 10 ounce pour. It's a huge glass. So yeah,
very cool.
Go Capri, it's great, and it's only 10 minutes from the house, so we're good.
Zim Zimmerman, shouting out anybody tonight?
Yes, of course. Hey. Big shout out to Windy City Sports Cards. I keep winning giveaways from them, and they keep delivering. So.
Oh, I forgot about this. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Hey, no problem. Now's a great time to do it. Windy City Sports Cards, Chicago. I think they're live.
You won something from them?
Yes, I win things from them all the time.
Really?
And
I've gotten a few things too.
Wow, you too?
Yeah,
I've won this hat from them.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Oh,
the Caleb
nice. I like
Bears
that.
hat.
Caleb,
I'm jealous.
I know.
And everything. I get compliments on the Tecmo Bowl Bears shirt that I wear all the time. Staley the Bear even complimented my Tecmo Bowl.
I haven't
shirt.
seen that. Can you text me a picture of that shirt?
Oh yeah, I wear it on the show all the time. I'll wear it next week for sure.
Yeah.
But I've got my Tecmo Bowl Bears shirt that gets complimented all the time. I won that through these guys.
Nice.
I feel like I've won some other stuff, but I won a Clark's Custom 1-of-1 cards. And from what I gather, Clark's Customs is a card collector like many of us, but he enjoys creating his own unique 1-of-1 designs. So I won one of his 1-of-1 designs. You can see here it is still sealed, and I thought it would be fun to open it on
open
camera
it.
here. So
open that up.
Switch over to the ripping angle here.
Oh, look at this. He's got another
Look at
camera.
this. Hold on a
Subjective
second.
camera.
Hold on a second. I got a sound effect for you.
There we go. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, geez.
Bad sound.
It's gonna get out of the blowtorch.
Do it again.
Where's the bubble gum?
Ooh, look at that.
Wow.
It's a Caleb Williams card.
What?
Oh,
Get out of there.
Are
Nice.
you serious?
Caleb Williams.
Okay.
Now,
Man.
keep in mind, this is not
So
a
jealous.
custom, or this is not an officially licensed card. This is a custom card that he has made himself.
Yeah. That's
so I just took the
awesome.
seal off of it, but there you are, Caleb Williams, 1/1. It's kind of hard to see. I don't have the
Nice.
greatest lighting in here. And on the back side here, you can see he
Fantastic.
signed it and marked it as 1/1.
That is
wow.
awesome.
So that is
nice.
a unique
That's
little
dope.
piece of collectible memorabilia with his information up here at the top, little QR code and everything for him here as well, so that if I were to show this off to anybody, they can find it. It says year 2 for Caleb Williams is starting with a new head coach. The combo of Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams will look to stake their claim to the NFC North, along with his 2024 stats on there. So this is really nifty. This is really cool. This is really well done, really professional looking. It does not feel like something cheap or, a lot of people do these 1/1 cards and they tend to feel kind of cheesy.
I was just gonna say, hold it up to that camera.
Oh,
look
that's
at
nice. I like that.
That
Got
is
like that
awesome.
cracked
cool.
ice sort of hollow on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Windy City made a card with me on it. Did you guys see when I
did
posted
they
it?
really?
I got it. I'll
Nice.
run and get it real quick.
That
Nice.
is sick.
Yeah.
But again, this is Windy City Sports Cards, who did the giveaway in collaboration with Jay Clark's Customs. So give these guys a little shout out. There's that
Absolutely.
for them.
Jay Clark's.
Clark's 1_1 cards on X, along with the Windy City Sports Cards. I believe they are at 312. Sorry, I need to look this up.
While you're doing that, just one more time.
He's got a hard rockin' soul. He's the long-haired guy on Bare Their Souls.
Okay.
That is at 312 Sports Cards 1 for Windy City Sports Cards. I don't have anything here to compare it to at arm's reach other than this Kyle Hamilton card I dug out the other day. But you can see, like, quality-wise,
Yeah.
Compare it to
Very nice
mine.
stuff.
very similar sort of cards. Yeah.
Hold
Is
on
that
a
you
second.
and Gabe
yeah.
on there?
Yeah, that's me and Gabe.
Hold it higher. There
The
you go.
legend.
Yeah, I was at his dad's
Awesome.
restaurant. I went to his dad's restaurant, did a review.
Nice. What was
Nice.
batting
Super
average?
cool,
You
man.
remember?
That
What
was
was the fifth meter?
that was 320s. He's got a Mexican sub.
Nice.
That was really good.
Nice.
It's Gabriel's favorite sub. So yeah, I tasted it. It was delicious. Had some Greek fries that were awesome. Yeah, it's down
Nice.
there in Archer in California. So
I love it.
yeah, submarine port. Yep. So
Daniken, it is now your turn to do your shout outs.
Man, shout out number one to you guys, man. Everybody here. Blast, man. Good show tonight. I appreciate it. I had fun. We were therapeutic, I think. We
I
talked
think so,
and
yeah.
discussed some
Great
things,
word.
man. And it's really good to be a part of it, man. You know, we need to do this type of thing.
Yeah.
Of course, Three Kings in the Midway, the podcast that we do, we dropped it yesterday. Shout out to those guys, Ill Will, and Devori Nesby. You can find those guys on Twitter. Check us out. Take a look at it. Shout out to Bears Twitter, Bears fan base, everybody. And shout out to Magic City. No. Lou Will lemon pepper barbecue wings.
Man,
There you go.
I want to try those wings, man. I
Yeah.
love lemon pepper. That's
Yes, I
one of
want
my
to try
favorite.
one of
Road
those
trip.
strippers. Can I try a stripper, please, with hot sauce? Fitz, I'm sorry. Every time I say like a dirty-minded joke, I think of your mom. I don't know.
I shouldn't have said that.
She should be in bed by now, right? All right, guys. Did I leave anybody out? Did we go around the horn and
You
say our shout-outs?
you didn't do your shout outs.
No, okay. Well, let's see. It is Wednesday, Friday. It is going to be Jeff Willis and Tim Willis, the twins. And then before that, weekend sports betting tips with Johnny Santucci. And what are the names of your two co-hosts? I know it,
Sean
but
Higgs.
I like the way you say it better than I do it.
Yeah, Sean Higgs and Anthony Inglese.
Anthony Iglesias?
Inglese.
Oh, okay.
It's like you're hanging out with three Dagos giving you sports betting tips. Friday nights.
And then on Sunday, game day, it is the Barfly Tailgate Show. They start things off at 9 a.m. Central, and that's followed up by Fantasy Football Noon. And then we're back on Monday. Greg Gabriel has guaranteed a win against the Dallas Cowboys. So we will see if he is right or not. If not, I'm going to give him a hard time. We've been having arguments lately. I got to say this about Greg. I love the guy, but because he has worked with the Chicago Bears organization, he has a loyalty to them that makes it difficult for him to be critical. And he says, I'm just being positive. I'm a positive guy. I'm a positive. Yeah, I know why you're positive.
He knows what's going on behind the scenes. Too.
Right.
They're trying, you know.
Yeah, he's positive because that big ass house in Libertyville was paid for by the Chicago Bears. That's why you're positive. And so last season, I went on a tirade on Gabriel Talks Football and said, Matt Eberflus needs to be fired. And Greg says, after listening to 2 minutes of me just going off and fuming, he says, you're talking like a fan. And then he caught himself. He says, well, yeah, you are a fan. And then guess what? The following week, Greg Gabriel came on and said, yeah, Eberflus does need to be fired. I think sometimes the fans might be in on stuff a little earlier than people who work it for the team or the NFL. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. Jeff Willis says, I'm Italian on my mom's side. D. Starin. Oh, he's talking to D. Starin. Greg is also set in his ways. Yes, he is. Yeah. I love working with Greg Gabriel. He is one of the best things about the Barroom Network. Check him out on Mondays. Check out my man Daniken on Three Kings. And that's available Spotify, you name it. Anywhere you get your audio podcast. And listen, when you guys go video, I want you and the other two kings to come on here and promote the show. We'll have a good time. We'll have a full house. And then Fitz, let people know where they can sign up for your YouTube channel.
Yeah, YouTube. It's at Fitzmagic Shy on YouTube. Like, subscribe, please do. So,
indeed.
All my videos.
And Zim, where can people find your mugshot? Post offices?
County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. And Tooch, I understand there's a sale on your old porno movies. Let
Remember, 54 points and Zim cuts his hair.
Keep them rolling in.
50 points. I'm lowering the bar, guys. 50 points when I cut my hair.
Man. Get the scissors out now, man.
I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh when they score 49.
Congratulations to the Chicago
team
Cubs.
can stop anybody.
Oh yeah, shout out to them.
Yes. Big shout out to the Cubs on their upcoming first round exit. Can't wait for that. 0-2 never looked so good.
By the way, I said earlier in the show that I was at a bar and everybody's celebrating, and I'm watching the TV. Everybody in the clubhouse is celebrating, pouring champagne over one another. And I said to myself, they're a wild card team. They should be pouring beer, not champagne. Champagne is for
Old
real.
style.
No. They should be pouring Miller Genuine Draft. It's the champagne of beer.
The champagne bottled beer. That's right. Absolutely. Anyways, thank you all very much for the people who joined us live. Really appreciate it. And for those watching on demand, appreciate you as well. Please share the show with others, and hopefully lots more people can join us live and keep me going crazy reading through your comments while also trying to listen to these four outstanding gentlemen. God bless you all, and we'll see you all real soon. Bye-bye.